Mineshaft filly out of a point-given mare for Imperial Racing. Tyler Gaffalione winning races in bunches at Churchill. Takes another to start off this evening card.
Yeah, Tyler Gaffalione, your leading rider at the meet. When you ride horses at that price that win this easily, makes life easy.
It's got to be a good feeling. Tyler kicking off the card in the right way with a victory. Their feature later tonight at Churchill. It comes in the 7th race. It is 7/8 of the mile. I love this race tonight. An allowance optional claiming field. We did a late night program last Saturday, and there was a horse named Aloha West. Gary Stevens was out in Louisville, and he said we could be potentially seeing a star in that race, and that was Aloha West, who did not disappoint, ran huge on that night. Answer In was able to beat Aloha West, who had a terrible break when they met back on April the 9th at Keeneland, but it was able to hold him off and comes in with that victory. Got a 94 buyer. This was off about a 3-4 month rest for Brad Cox.
Yeah, and the horse showing the ability to overcome some adversity, had a swing out wide and came with this relentless rally to beat Aloha West, who complemented that effort, certainly with the effort last Saturday.
Yeah, it's a Wayne Catalano runner who looks like he has a monster future. But Answer In looks like he's pretty talented as well. Look who he faced early in his career. I mean, they had him briefly on the Triple Crown Trail last year. He was 3rd to Silver Prospector, Wells Bayou. He just missed against Shoplifted back as a 2-year-old in his career for Steve Asmussen, who was a very promising 2-year-old. So he's the morning line favorite. There are a lot of ways to go, though, in this race. I thought Banks Island was really intriguing in here. Coltonator is coming off a huge effort. And even Home Base, a long shot runner, has some big numbers, a 6-time winner.
I think it's a very deep field, and 7 furlongs is, you know, a tough post for Answer In. Post 1, he's going to have to kind of do some jockeying for position. Florent Giroux, Brad Cox's main guy. He does have his hands full, though, working out a trip from that post.
Super Saul in that race. Necker Island would have been intriguing to see come back the 8th and 9th. They both scratched in that race, but still a full field that will line up for that feature, the 7th on the card tonight under the Twin Spires. As we take a look at what's ahead, presented by Claiborne Farm, 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. We're going to have the 1 through 8 out at Churchill, the entire card. Fast main track, turf is good. At Canterbury Park in Shakopee, Minnesota, they are sloppy. They are off the turf. Do have a couple of stakes races, but again, coming off the turf, so a few changes, which we will go through in just a little bit. But we're excited to have them on board this afternoon, or evening, I should say. You can play all the action with Naira Bets. Get signed up, started, go to nairabets.com. You can download the app. Belmont 25, promo code to use at sign up. You'll get a $25 free bet for the Belmont Stakes and a deposit match up to $200 as well. We're going to step aside for a timeout. Just getting started here on this Thursday evening card. A lot more ahead. Heavy favorite in the opener. And coming up, from Derby to Turf, Sainthood, Pennine Ridge. We'll talk about coming up this weekend. Stick with us. We'll be back.
Undefeated Grade 1 winner Mastery was a multiple graded stakes winner at 2, including this victory in the Los Alamitos Cash Call Futurity. At 3, he sizzled in the San Felipe Stakes. Now his progeny are bringing top dollar in the sales ring.
$450,000.
Internet advise, $510,000, thank you.
An exciting young stallion, Mastery, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
Hi, Gregory.
Franklin, what's going on? Back on America's Day at the Races here on Fox Sports 2. Program is brought to you by legendary Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. Back in the opener at Churchill Downs, there's your winner. Cole Shaft goes off as the 2-5 odds-on favorite. Danny Gargan, Imperial Racing, and Tyler Gaffleon team up.
Big drop in class was the key to victory here. She just dominated from start to finish. 280 as your favorite.
So Cole Shaft ambitiously placed, mini dressed 4-3-1 in the opener. The early pick 4 coming up next. Let's check in with our own Frank Lyons for more live on site. Frank, how you doing?
Very good, Greg. How are you?
Great.
So, welcome to Churchill Downs, everybody. Well, it's a beautiful day. It was very warm early on. We've had a lot of rain in the last few days here. So the track is fast, but the turf is good. So just keep that in mind as the evening goes on. We have 7 races to bring you, and we are particularly looking forward to the feature race, who is the favorite in there is Answer In, trained by Brad Cox, the Eclipse Award winning trainer, and that horse has been favored in 8 of his last 9 races, winning 2 of those races, so he's no certainty. It's a wide open race. And then in the last race, I think that's my favorite race of the day, we have featuring a Danny Pites first time starter by Run Happy, who cost $700,000, breaks from the rail with Drayden Van Dyke aboard. Also then River Tiber for Wesley Ward is coming back off of a bit of a layoff. He's by Warfront out of Liscanney. He's a full brother to the Breeders' Cup winner Hit It a Bomb, owned by John Magnier, Michael Tabor, Derek Smith. So a very interesting card today. We're going to throw it back to Greg Wolf right now. We'll get ready for the second race. Greg?
Frank, thank you. Yeah, feature's going to be a lot of fun. That'll be coming up in the 7th tonight. We'll see if Answer In can back up what he did last time out. That was over at Keeneland, that race that we showed you. This weekend coming up at both Belmont and at Churchill Downs. Really looking forward to that Matt win. But first up, Pennine Ridge, Grade 2 here at Belmont. We're going to bring it to you live, both these races this weekend. Mile and an eighth on the inner turf. We told you Sainthood going to try turf for the very first time for Todd Pletcher, one of a couple of Pletchers in this race. But Hard Love for Jonathan Thomas is the morning line favorite, coming off a win in the Woodhaven to kick off his 3-year-old campaign.
Yeah, Hard Love really ran well here. And this was over at Aqueduct. You got to be a little handier. This is a horse that possesses speed. He puts himself in the game, and he really hasn't done anything wrong yet.
Ridgeling by Kitten's Joy out of a rock hard 10 mare, won the debut at Belmont. So it's won on the turf here in New York, the Big Sandy, and then wins at Woodhaven as well. Got to deal with a couple Pletchers, some new faces in in this spot, like Sainthood is getting on the turf for the first time, coming out of the Kentucky Derby. Was 11th in that 19-horse field, went off at 43-1. And again, before that, was second on Synthetic in that Jeff Ruby Stakes to Like the King. So you would think, just off that, Synthetic could be somewhat similar to turf, showed ability.
I do think that you can compare synthetic races to turf races. It's not exactly the same, but horses can still accelerate, have a turn of foot. That's important for turf horses. He was the best horse this day. Drayden Van Dyke was able to put him in a little bit of a pickle. You can see all of his momentum was stymied there. And he actually is able to pick it up again and re-rally. So I think this bodes well for him getting on the turf, as does his pedigree. His dam, Lemon Hero, was stakes placed on the turf as well as winning on the turf. Her Grand Dam was a stakes winner on turf. The horse has 2 workouts over the Belmont turf course. So Todd Pletcher gave him a couple of test runs over the turf course. He must have liked what he saw. And that if that synthetic race equates anything close to what he could do on turf, I love this turn of foot.
Chad Brown will be represented by Public Sector, and a horse who actually beat that runner last time out, Safe Conduct, who was 38-1 that day with Jose Lescano. Jose back aboard. That value is going to be gone on Saturday.
Yeah, it seems like either one of the Ortiz brothers is going to move the board a bit, particularly Irad, but Jose as well. Both riding very well.
Hard Love, though, for Jonathan Thomas. Again, morning line favorite in that race. Grade 2, Pennine Ridge. We're looking forward to it. There's a look at the weekend stakes schedule ahead. That's on Saturday. On Sunday, $100,000 Paradise Creek. And we have late coverage going into the late evening on Memorial Day. the commentator, Critical Eye, Bowery, Kingston, Mount Vernon, and Mike Lee. All of that for you on our Memorial Day coverage. We hope you can be with us.
I love those New York Breeders' Showcase days. You know, we get basically every division of New York breds covered there, and you see so many of the breeders come out, and they take such pride in the product that they're developing in the state of New York. The New York breeding program is second to none.
Meanwhile, at Churchill Downs, a couple of horses coming out of the Kentucky Derby, returning to the Grade 3, Matt Wynn, Obezos, who was 5th in the Derby, and Helium for Mark Cassidy, who was actually my selection on Derby Day, wound up 8th in the Kentucky Derby. He's the Tampa Bay Derby winner. That was a long time off, early March until May the 1st from that Tampa Bay Derby win to the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, and I think he was asking a lot of him. He was impressive in the Tampa Bay Derby. He made this wide, long, sustained bid and continued on resolutely to win the Tampa Bay Derby. Then he had that long break to the Kentucky Derby, turns back a little bit in distance. I think there's a lot to like about Helium here. I know you liked him in the Derby, maybe a little bit disappointing there, but just look how game he is. I mean, it looks like he's going to get swallowed up after making that long, sustained run. I mean, that was about a half a mile run. Most horses have about a quarter of a mile run. Your best horse is 3/8. He was doggedly determined and made that long run.
Yeah, it was wide throughout as well. It was an impressive performance. It's going to be fun to see him come back to action. We mentioned Obezos as well, who's 5th in the Derby for Greg Foley, coming back as well. And you have some more lightly raced horses as well, but a horse like Folsom, who's the Oaklawn winner for Brad Cox, will appear. He's 5-2 morning line.
Yeah, Folsom is a horse that's, you know, if you look at his form, he's really never run a bad race. He's tried different surfaces. His last time was his first time ever on a fast main track, and he was very good. I think this is a very competitive race. Obezos worked out a great trip in the Kentucky Derby, and he feels like one of those horses that's just a cut below the very best, but placed properly, if managed properly, he's going to knock out some nice races this year.
He was right behind Midnight Bourbon in that Louisiana Derby. Of course, that was won by Hot Rod Charlie. He showed some big ability in that race. We'll see if he can continue to develop throughout the year. Sometimes dropping down, build that confidence back up, continue to develop. Could be a factor later in the year.
Equine athletes are very much like human athletes, and they are affected negatively by poor performances or when they lose. So when they win, it definitely bolsters their confidence and their attitude.
This is the weekend stakes schedule at Churchill Downs. Not only the Matt Wynn, the Grade 3 Regret, Audubon, Blame, Shawnee, the Aristides, and that Douglas Park overnight. So they are loaded on the Saturday card. We, again, hope you join us. It's going to be a great long weekend of Memorial Day coverage coming up on America's Day at the Races.
Love it.
Going to be fun. We got the second at Churchill next. $40,000 claiming race. This is 6.5 furlongs in melting snow. Faced Decade and Fouette, a couple of Steve Asmussen runners. Decade won actually her last two before that. She won with an 87 Beyer last out. It's a Tom Amoss filly who is the current favorite at 6-5. Post parade from the second at Churchill to kick off the pick 4 when we come back. Stay with us.
Spun to Run. In the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, he defeated a loaded field that included multiple Grade 1 winners Omaha Beach and Improbable. His brilliant speed figures were among the fastest of any 3-year-old at a mile or more. And he hails from the legendary Danzig sire line. Multiple graded stakes winner, millionaire, Breeders' Cup champion, Spun to Run, new for 2021, standing at Gainesway.
Wagering on the Twin Spires app is fast and easy, and new players can take advantage of our $200 sign-up offer right now. Simply use code GET200 to start earning your $200 new player bonus when you join Twin Spires today, where you can bet on Churchill Downs as well as the best racing from around the globe. Plus, if you're looking for help to find a winner, check out our expert picks available in the app for every race. Twin Spires. Download the app and bet today.
The Run Happies are running. The Run Happies are selling. The Run Happies are winning. Following C, romped by nearly 6 lengths, earning a 97 buyer. Happy Max crushed the field by over 10 lengths. Mississippi by Run Happy won by 5.5 on the Kentucky Derby undercard. And Happy American by Run Happy stretched out to 1.25 miles in his victory at Churchill. At OBS, Run Happy Juvenile sold for nearly 50 times this year's stud fee. The chance of a lifetime at just $10,000. Book your mirror today to Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Back on America's Day at the Races. Good to have you with us. Greg Wolf, Richard Migliori. As we get set for the early pick 4 coming up at Churchill Downs. We're going to get to Canterbury Park in just a little bit. Bring you the first 6 on the card out in Shakopee, Minnesota. Race 2 at Churchill, 6.5 furlongs if you're just joining us. $40,000 claiming race. Tom Amoss, he's got 2 in the race. He's got the 4 at 9-1. He's got the current favorite who you're looking at right now. There's 3 as well. Melting Snow coming out of a much tougher spot. It was a muddy track that day, April the 29th. Let's go back to April the 1st, though, at Oaklawn. This was a win on a fast track sprinting.
Yeah, and this filly's very tactical. She can lay up close, kind of creates her own trip. She made that kind of wide, sustained run that actually we saw be very successful through the whole Oaklawn meet. That's why she's kind of spinning off the turn, the 3-4 path, and she just kind of runs down there, hands and heels here by Florent Geroux. Jimmy Graham, Tom Amoss's main go-to guy, gets the call here.
So 6-5, Melting Snow. 2 wins the last 4 starts and coming out of a really tough spot last time out. That was a loaded group in that muddy track at Oaklawn. Tom's also got Dance On Over. That's the 4 you see there in the background. Tapiture filly, who is second off the claim for Tom and first off the claim, guided to a win for 25 maiden claiming.
It's kind of interesting, too. She was coming off a layoff. Best race of her life by far and away. Now, it was against much cheaper, but the fact that Tom saw enough from her to move her up to 40, to me, is a vote of confidence.
Well, she dusted that field. It was at Indiana Grand, obviously a much softer circuit, but the filly she beat in there, Vartan, who she handled easily, came back and actually won her next with a 75 buyer jumping into a maiden special weight. So that filly was jumped into a maiden special out of a maiden 25. So maybe that's part of the reason Tom said, well, if she could jump up and handle that kind of field, maybe this filly can handle it too.
You know what stood out to me, too, is that she showed improved speed in her comeback, where she seemed like she had trouble kind of getting it together early in races last year. The fact that, you know, she had that time off and then could put herself in the race, maybe Tom just figured her out and she needed to grow up a little bit.
Meanwhile, double-digit odds outside on a filly who looks like she could have the lead easily all to herself, just like she did last start when she broke her maiden at Prairie Meadows.
Yeah, I always have a little bit of a hard time deciphering how form at one track stacks up against another. How does the Prairie Meadows form stack up against Churchill?
We'll see, but she is quick. There does not appear to be a ton of speed in this field. We'll go through them here in a moment. Sunny Isle Beach we will start with here as we're 5 minutes to post, who is coming out of a second at this level, and that was at Churchill, beat by Polished Gem that day, an Ian Wilkes runner that earned a 70 buyer for her win in that start.
Yeah, this filly has been steadily turning back in distance. 6.5 is the shortest she's run in a while, and she's got the inside. She's going to have to work out a trip.
Brianna, she showed speed in the slop at Churchill for 20,000 in a win last out.
Yeah, first time with Corey Lannery, who let her bounce to the lead in those sloppy conditions.
First to 2 for Tom Amoss, the favorite at 6-5. There she is, Melting Snow, daughter of Dialed In.
Makes a lot of sense. Understand why she's the favorite.
Stablemate. Dance On Over, second off the claim for Amoss. Again, had that big win at Indiana Grand, 9-1 on the 4. Who was still looking at the favorite here, getting a nice warm-up under Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham and Tom Amoss seem to have a very good relationship, a lot of trust in each other, and that's so important that they communicate.
She's been forwardly placed in her career. There's 4 not handling herself as good.
Yeah, being a little bit keen, wanting to see her kind of throwing her head about. I think she's interesting. I think she could take a big step forward.
Rockstar Parking was just in for 40 at this level, finished just behind Sunny Isle Beach.
Yeah, I think this is a major player as well, and she can lay up close to the pace.
And the one who looks like she's the speed of the field at Prairie Meadows. Will it translate here to Churchill? Super ready.
Yeah, I mean, she appears to be the fastest on paper, and, I think riders don't do their horses a service when they get in their way. Just allow them to be free. You don't have to send one. Just let them run into their stride.
Time for our Twin Spires Market Mover. It is Tom Amoss, the 3 Melting Snow here with Jimmy Graham aboard, who's getting that aggressive warm-up. You like the way she looked warming up?
It took her a little while to get as free as I would like to see, but sometimes that's why you've got to warm them up, good, because you want them to get moving looser and freer. It's just like human athletes. Some horses take longer to warm up, just like some people take longer to warm up.
You want to bet the Market Mover, go to twinspires.com. You can download the app as well. Get 200, that code to use at sign up to take advantage of that $200 new player bonus. With more on the favorite, let's go to Frank Lyons.
Well, Greg, this favorite, Melting Snow, Tom Amoss claimed her for 30,000 4 starts back. So she moved up to second in allowance next time out, then 1 in allowance the time after that. So why do you wonder why is she in for 40,000? Well, it's because he claimed it for 30,000. The purse here is 42,900. So that's it's about 60,000 if he should win here, and I believe he will win here because finished 4th, beating 10 3/4 last time behind a horse called Decade. That's a horse trained by Steve Asmussen by the great California Chrome. She had broke her maiden in the previous start, which was at Churchill Downs right here last November. So Melting Snow is coming out of a very good race. And if you put a line through that race, she's ultra consistent. James Graham gets aboard for the very first time, as the boys were saying there. Tom Amoss is main go-to rider. So I got to come up with a second-place finisher. Or maybe even, she could probably give Melting Snow a lot to do here. The horse that looked the best out on the track was the 2 to me, Briona. She had tried the grass in 2 of her last 4 tries and then was reined off the grass, and then she raced on the sloppy racetrack, dropped for 20,000, won easily last time out on the main track after having those few starts on the grass, after having a mile race on that was taken off the grass. I think she looks great. She's only had 5 starts. She's won 2 of them. She's 9-1 right now. So I believe that she can either win or run second to Melting Snow. And that's what it is for me, boys. 3-2.
All right, Frank, good luck. Getting set to load up here. Briona for Frank. He is using in his Agacta in here. Corey Lanerie, Steve Margolis. And had a little bumping out of the gate for 20, claiming last time out, and still was able to get to the front and power away. Meanwhile, here's Rockstar Parking. 3-month layoff for her last out at this 40 level. And again, she was just a nose behind the 1, Sunny Isle Beach.
I find this filly very interesting. The fact that they tried to stretch her out her last 2 starts back at the fairgrounds, had that time off, comes back 7/8, was very sharp that day. You'd have to think with that run under her belt and staying at the 1-turn sprint distances is going to be beneficial to her.
5-2 on Rockstar Parking. Can she be a pace factor? Who's going to put the pressure on this outside runner, this Super Saver filly, Super Ready, coming in from Prairie Meadows?
Could be Briona again from the inside, as much speed as she showed. So what happens with jockeys, when you've had success with a horse doing it a certain way, your tendency is to go right back to that. And Corey Lanerie won on Briona wire to wire. Why would he change? Why fix what's not broken?
There might be a chance Tom Amoss and Jimmy Graham just believe they have the best filly in the race and try and get aggressive, too.
And just get out of her way. Let her do her thing.
We'll see. She's 4-5 on the board. Melting Snow, the Twin Spires Market Mover, moving to the gate right now in the 1 to beat on the board. It's the start of the early pick 4 on this Thursday evening card here on the home of racing from Churchill Downs, Fox Sports. Let's go to Travis Stone.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Super Ready bounces out on top. Here comes Melting Snow, and Brianna is there. Rockstar parking in behind, comes away fourth. Sunny Isle Beach and Dance on Over's at the back early. Tight pack, though, as they move down the backstretch run. Brianna comes on through to grab a short lead. Melting Snow is right there. They're head and head. Super Ready keeping pace with them to make it 3 across the track, heading for the half-mile pole. Dance on Over is in behind, running up into fourth. Rockstar Parking is wide while fifth, and Sunny Isle Beach is down inside sixth and trailing. The opening quarter goes in 23 seconds flat. Melting Snow going head-to-head with Brianna, grabs the upper hand, 3 furlongs out. Super Ready's not far behind while third. Rockstar Parking revving up with a wide run from fourth. Sunny Isle Beach has now moved up to be fifth within 4 lengths of the lead as they hit the top of the stretch. Melting Snow turning for home in front. Brianna fights on toward the rail. Rockstar Parking grabs third with a furlong to go. Super Ready's back to fourth. Sunny Isle Beach is fifth. Melting Snow is first. First by 4 with a 16th to go. Brianna's trying to hold second from Rockstar Parking, but as they come for the wire, Melting Snow scores. Scores by 4 in the end. Brianna was second, Rockstar Parking and Super Ready.
Melting Snow, the favorite, an emphatic victory. Had to battle early on with Brianna in here, and even the 6, that Prairie Meadow shipper, Super Ready, wasn't far out of it. Just puts this field away.
And even though she was battling basically in between horses, she was doing it so comfortably. You could see Jimmy Graham was sitting quietly, allowing her to use her natural stride, wasn't taking anything away that came easy to her. When he took that kind of long, languishing look back at the quarter pole, you said, well, he's got a lot of horse. Jockeys usually don't take that kind of look unless they feel like they've got a lot underneath them, and he certainly did.
3, 2, 5. Favorite Melting Snow. The Twin Spires market mover goes off at even money. To kick off this pick 4 here. Good Tom Amoss rolling early on at the Churchill meeting.
Better than 32% at the meet. Tom's not only a good horseman, he's a great manager. He spots his horses aggressively where they are going to shine, where they can make the most of their abilities.
We'll have the prices from this one when we come back. It's Melting Snow in the second from Churchill, and we'll set the stage for racing in Shakopee, Minnesota, Canterbury Park. We'll have the opener. Starter allowance, race taken off the turf. We'll set the stage for their card when we come back on America's Day at the Races. Stay with us.
The ultimate accolade for a racehorse is to be named Horse of the Year. To be enshrined to the Hall of Fame is to achieve immortality. As a stallion, genetic immortality is defined in 2 words: breed shaper, plain and simple. 2-time Horse of the Year and Hall of Fame inductee, Curlin is just that. Breed shaper, Curlin, the classic sire.
Be a part of the Racing Action Saturdays at Belmont Park with live money contests available online through Naira Bets. A $300 buy-in adds $200 to your contest account, while the other $100 funds the cash prize pool paid through 10th place. Follow along with the races on America's Day at the Races while keeping track of your leaderboard standings on Naira Bets. After the contest, your bankroll and prize winnings are shifted back into your Naira Bets account to start betting or withdraw. Register to play today at nairabets.com/contests.
Back on America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2. Our program is brought to you by the one-of-a-kind champion sprinter, Run Happy, now standing at Clayburgh Farm and having a tremendous year as a second crop sire. Back at Churchill, Tom Amoss and Jimmy Graham on the board. Melting Snow battling early, sitting just off of Brianna, pulling away in the stretch.
Yeah, and she always looked like a winner, traveling sweetly between horses. It's not how fast you're going, it's how you're going fast. And Jimmy Graham had a lot of filly underneath him, and when he set her down, Melting Snow ran off.
3-2-5 finish. Thought there might be something else coming there, though. Dramatic pause. Even money in the end on Melting Snow, dialed in filly. Owned in part by Team Serengeti Empress, Joe Politti. And that early double, modest, $7.20. We'll set the stage for the third in a moment. We're going to get to Shakopee, Minnesota, first from Canterbury. Going to begin with a $12,000 starter allowance scheduled for the grass. They're off the turf all evening long tonight. So this move to the main track, and with the surface switch, you see the 2, the 5 are out. Unleash the Beast favored right now.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, this horse has proven dirt form. Going to be very tough to beat.
A few facts about Canterbury Park, since new to our program, of course, in Shakopee, Minnesota, about 35 minutes southwest of Minneapolis. Opened back in 1985, mile dirt track. And some of their top stakes, that Mystic Lake Derby, the Minnesota Derby in the Oaks. Tremendous little track with some great racing and some big names, too, that we're used to hearing on this program, like the barns of, for one, Robertino Diodoro. We're going to see some of his horses running tonight at Canterbury. Here is I'm a Cowboy Too. Gary Scherer just missed at Hawthorne on the turf last out.
Yeah, but this horse is 0 for 10 on dirt, but does get 0 for 3 on the wet as well.
Yeah, a little surprising staying in. Here's the 3, Flip the Coin Jan.
1 for 10 on dirt, never been on a off surface.
7-2 next door as well on Bobby Baby, Cody Rosen.
Yeah, but this horse has got a couple decent races and has speed. This horse could be a player here.
And one way to go for Unleash the Beast, to the front end. Even money outside. Very short price with Luis Negron.
Yeah, I mean, all his horses' good races have been on the dirt. And he was the one horse that was happy when he saw the rain. He should be very comfortable and be tough to get by.
Yeah, already owns a win on a wet track, coming in from Turf Paradise with that victory last time out back on April the 13th. So you would think, helped by the fact, too, that with the 5 gone, who might have been even quicker than Unleash the Beast, just makes it that much easier for the 6.
Yeah, well, the 5 Marquis Thunder is quick in sprints, so he might have been, and that would have made things tough on Unleash the Beast. But the fact that Unleash the Beast looks like the controlling speed and a horse that has 9 lifetime victories and all of those coming on the dirt, compared to everybody else in the race, you couldn't add up everybody else's wins on the dirt to add up to his.
There's a look at him, 6-year-old by American Lion, who is a short price favorite, has speed, perfectly drawn outside as well. Just a lot of positives here in this opener, and with who came out again, it looks like even helped his chances even more in this race. Some really good runners a little bit later on in the card. I know it was a race that was scheduled for the grass, but it has come off, and excited to see Drina Star back in action, who we saw impressively win at Oaklawn. It's coming up a little bit later on. So they have a good card this evening, even with the few that were taken off the grass. Now 4-5 here on this outside runner, Unleash the Beast.
Yeah, and I think rightfully so. We saw a very chalky start to the card at Churchill Downs, and it feels like we're going to see more of the same in the opener at Canterbury. Drina Star, who you're talking about, she's another one who had to be very happy when it came off because she's fast, she's got the inside, she's been good on wet surfaces, she's won on dirt. I mean, it really helped her course. And Robertina Diodoro, who's winning at basically 27, almost 30% on the year.
And I thought, too, looking at that race, that's back in race 6, so we got some time until we get there. Looked like a mile, the horse to beat, but there is everybody in that race wants to go to the front end. And he's going to have to go with that inside post. So it could be difficult for him tonight.
Yeah, but I think if anything, it simplifies things, doesn't it? You're fast,
a lot of quick runners
and you have
there.
the rail. Just be the fastest of the fast, last man standing.
There's some good speed in that race. I love that horse couple back when that horse was got a 96 buyer in one. That was at 6 furlongs in a tough allowance optional claiming race. We'll see if he's quick enough to get to the front. He's going to be really tough to deny. But it's just I haven't seen a race with that much speed in a long time.
And it'll be interesting to see if anybody is bashful about allowing their horses to use their speed. We see it a lot in New York. Guys tend to want to rate and save their horses for the finish. Some of these smaller tracks, it's the complete opposite. Guys say, no, I'm going. And that's when you get these log jams of 4, 5, 6 horses, a crush for the lead.
How much did you handicap races when you saw races like that where you had to make decisions, or did you just kind of let it more go on feel and play out of the gate?
Well, you not only have to handicap the horses in situations like this, you handicap the riders as well. And if you're riding at a particular circuit, you know guys' tendencies. So you go, well, this horse is fast, but I know this guy's not crazy about sending one or going to the lead. I might be able to discourage him. I know this horse is quick, and that guy, he'll go no matter what. So you have to know the riders as much as you do the horses.
3-5 favorite here in this first at Canterbury Park. Unleash the Beast. We know his game plan. Go to the front and try and put this field away early on under Luis Negron. Now 3-5 here.
Yeah, it's hard to get past him. I mean, who would your alternative be? Bobby Bay's going to be in the unenviable position of chasing him, and he's got the second best dirt form in my estimation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Cowboy 2 the 1. 3 starts on an off track, and it's unable to hit the board. Tough to really like. And it's, I mean, Flip the Coin Jan just seems like absolutely the best races from that horse. Not only did they come a long time ago, I'm not even sure if this horse can still run to the level he's been able to, but they've been on the turf.
Yeah, and this horse shipping from Southern California,
I'd say 6'4".
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, and these are the two horses with the two most proven dirt form.
Bobby Baby, the last time he was on an off track, just missed. He ran an 84 buyer speed figure, the best he's produced in a while. It looks like he actually moves up on an off track for Cody Rosen.
Do you give him any chance to upset? Maybe the 3 Flip the Coin Jan coming out of California. There's a bunch of fast horses there. They try to use that speed. Not that he's had much of it lately.
Just has not shown speed on the dirt in his
last 4 starts.
Yeah, more turf speed, and that speed again was back in 2018. Tough to see.
Yeah, the recent form just is not doing it. And the horse only ran twice in 2020, now 3 times so far in 2021.
And you got to like to Unleash the Beast. Wow, 1-2 here. Multiple winner at Canterbury as well. But has been able to dictate and put fields away pretty early in those wins. But it looks like another race and an opportunity here where he's going to be able to do just that.
Yeah, just get out of his way. Let him do his thing. Don't rate him. Don't send him. Just let him run.
Odds-on favorite kicked off action at Churchill. We'll see if an odds-on favorite speedster to the outside can kick off Canterbury Park's card with a victory as well. Paul Allen with the call from Shakopee, Minnesota.
View nationwide online. Welcome, Sloppy Main Track, no turf racing. And for the FS2 audience, specifically those of you taking in America's Day at the Races, we welcome you. Likewise for Greg Wolf and Richard Migliori. A quartet to begin, and here they are. And they're racing. Bit of a slow beginning for Unleash the Beast. The 4-5 favorite was off in last, but now revs up with Negron to the outside, and Unleash the Beast flashes some speed to the outside of Bobby Baby. They're going quickly as they slosh around that first turn. 4 and 6 absolutely going like the wind, splattering mud in the face of Flip the Coin Jan. Then it's way back in last to I'm a Cowboy 2. That one is 3-1 and would have to wrangle them in from about 13. Up the barn side, race 1 Thursday, CBY. And the 2 leaders settle into stride. They're still going quite quickly. Unleash the Beast, a course specialist, edges clear by a length. After that is Bobby Baby. Then it's Flip the Coin, Jan. That one is in third, now angling to the outside of Bobby. In striking range, 2.5 from the lead, and the lead belongs to the Beast. Unleash the Beast. Said Trio about 13, 14 clear from I'm a Cowboy 2 off the far turn they go. Unleash the Beast, still spotless, cap to boot. Bobby Baby's doing the moonwalk and has been overtaken by Flip the Coin, Jan, who is watching Unleash the Beast run away by 5. And as they splash for home down the Canterbury Park stretch, it is Unleash the Beast, still clear, but it's diminishing. Here comes Flip the Coin, Jan, and they're in the final football field. The Beast is languishing. Flip the Coin, Jan puts the head in front and wins at 7-1. Small field, big payoff. 3-6-4, race 1.
Paul Allen, thank you for that extremely nice welcome. Good to be with you as well. Flip the Coin, Jan Mig. 7-1 to start off this card. Poor beginning from the big favorite. We'll go back to that in a moment.
Yeah, and this horse absolutely tripped out Flip the Coin, Jan, when the two, the favorite and the second choice went at it in a cutthroat speed duel. He was just sitting in the catbird seat. Despite not changing leads, was able to wear down Unleash the Beast, who did not help his cause. Keep an eye on the 6, kind of flipped his head at the break, broke about 1.5 lengths slow, 2 lengths slow, and now he's got to play catch up. And now you're running wide in the first turn. The 4 horse who broke sharply isn't just going to give him the lead. And the 3, Flip the Coin, Jan, fell into an absolutely perfect trip.
Tough break, and that was likely the difference in this spot. Flip the Coin, Jan, coming in from the West Coast out at Santa Anita. Went for the Carlos Moreno barn at 7-1, beating an odds-on favorite to begin things at Canterbury Park. Well, the prices from this race when we return, and we'll talk Belmont Stakes, 3rd and final leg of the Triple Crown, and Don Pletcher is going to have a big presence. His Florida Derby and Wood winners. Known agenda, Bourbonic, looking to make an impact in the Test of the Champions. Stay with us.
Now, 500,000, well done.
Audible let loose on the outside to take the lead. Audible by 3. Hofberg can't get him. Audible, no doubt about it. Audible on the inside turns away the challenger. Free drop Billy. No confrontation at all. It's Audible to win the Holy Bull with style.
Audible on the outside races to the lead. Audible wins by 2.5.
Live racing returns to Monmouth Park Friday, May 28th. Fridays feature Twilight Racing with a 5 p.m. post. Weekend action gets underway at 12:15, kicking off the Winter Elite Pick 5. Wager on big fields and 6-figure pools Friday to Sunday, all summer long. Live racing is back at Monmouth Park Racetrack.
A Grade 1 winner on both dirt and turf, War of Will became a classic winner with this victory in the Preakness Stakes. This year, he added turf credentials to his resume with a determined victory in the Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile, a winner and Grade 1 placed at 2, multiple graded stakes victor at 3, and Grade 1 winner again at 4. This son of War Front has proven his class at every level. A classic winner with a stallion's pedigree. War of Will, standing in 2021 at Claiborne Farm.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
Back on America's Day at the Races here on Fox Sports 2. Greg Wolf, Richard Migliori with you. First from Canterbury Park. Poor break from the horse who was supposed to assert himself early, get to the front, Well, that plan did not happen with the bad break, and that results in an upset here. Flip the coin, Jan. It's 7-1 to start the card.
Yeah, big price to start the card there. Flip the coin, Jan. Absolutely perfect trip, set in behind a disputed pace and gets the money. 16-20 to kick off your opener at Canterbury.
Alfredo Juarez Jr. for Carlos Moreno. 6-year-old son, a trap shot with a win to start things off. Back at Churchill, race 3. 7/8 of a mile. It's a 10,000 claiming race for non-winners of 2 lifetime. And Chewy Good. Jimmy Graham looking to go back-to-back. He'll team up with new barn here, Jason Barkley, on the current favorite, who 2-back was a winner at Oaklawn Park at a mile. Here's our post break. We start with Miss Moon Pie, Chris Hartman.
Yeah, she's dropping in class, but her form had really tailed off recently.
Lou Emma really struggled at Churchill for 20 N2L last start. And here's the 3 Ancient Brown.
Yeah, Ancient Brown, a lot of starts here, 13 with only 1 victory. Not feeling her.
A lot of spunk getting back on dirt for the first time since the maiden breaker last August.
And drops in class, and I think gets back to her preferred surface.
There's Chewy Good, 8-5.
Making a nice impression on the track. Like her going 7/8.
Solemn Oath dropped down to maiden 10, lowest level she'd run at yet. She went gate to wire for a win at Churchill.
Yeah, this is a little bit different she's facing today against winners going 7 furlongs.
And Ike Likes broke her maiden for maiden 10, claiming at Oaklawn has struggled in 2 tries against winners.
Yeah, really kind of went backwards the last 2 starts.
That's your field. 3 minutes to post here in this third. Under the Twin Spires here at Churchill Downs. You can play all the action by going to twinspires.com, downloading the app. Take advantage of the new player offer. There it is. Code to use at sign up, get 200, and get you that $200 new player bonus in your account for new members at sign up. So 8-5 on Chewy Good. Cutting back in distance. In this scenario, Philly, who was on the lead last time out, going a mile and a 16th, looks awfully tough. Let's go back to the win for maiden 20 at Oaklawn at a mile.
Yeah, she showed good speed this day and was just much the best of this group. Took her a little while to get over to right lead, did it a little awkwardly. From a physical perspective, looking at her, she'll probably appreciate turning back to 7/8. She won going further, but she's not the most robust or good size filly, if you will.
3-2. And, you know, tried to go gate to wire last time out for 25 N2L. It looks like the filly in the rail coming out of a pretty quick sprint might be able to out-quick her to the front, but that may not matter with Chewy Good.
Yeah, Chewy's Good has been shown she can lay just off it. She'll probably be 1-2 early, just stalking. Yeah, you've got some other speed as well. I mean, Solemn Oath showed good speed last time, although that was route speed. I thought the 4 A Lot of Spunk was kind of interesting. I like her getting back onto the dirt, and I thought she could sit a trip, and I really liked what I saw from her in the warm-up.
Let's go back to A Lot of Spunk here. So last 2 starts, synthetic and turf. The last time she was on a dirt surface, it was at Belterra, and she was able to break her maiden right near the pace early on. Now, I don't know, will that translate here to Churchill with some other speeds in this race? We'll see. Very, very good trainer. Tom Drury Jr., of course, trained art collector. Winner of the Bluegrass, beating Swiss Skydiver last year on the road to the Triple Crown.
Yeah, Thomas Drury does a very good job. I like that this filly's coming off a layoff, and she just looks very sharp to me. I liked her warm-up. I like what I'm seeing from her on the racetrack.
Meanwhile, here is Solemn Oath, and a problem for her that she was able to win on a big drop down, being on the lead. I don't see her getting the lead in this race.
I don't see it either. She showed speed, but that was route speed. You know, basically she's going 12 seconds to every furlong, 24-2, 48-2. And you've got horses like Chewy Good who can go a sub 47 half going longer.
But let's go back to before that last race at Churchill, the last time she was at Churchill. She actually was able to sit and stalk a bit on that occasion, and she ran a very good race. She was only beat a neck. Granted, it was 30 maiden claiming against 2-year-olds, but she showed a dimension to be able to do that. Can she do that today?
Yeah, and Drayden Van Dyke's a nice, quiet rider. He allows horses to run up into his hands, and her 2 best races did come at Churchill Downs. She's trained by Hall of Famer D. Wayne Lucas, who maybe greatest legacy or most lasting legacy will be the trainers that he's turned out. He's mentored Todd Pletcher, one of his star pupils, being inducted into the Hall of Fame this summer.
Trainer tree from D. Wayne is just incredible in this sport.
It
legacy
really
he
is.
leaves.
Absolutely.
And now one of his proteges is starting to leave his own mark with his trainer tree, Todd Pletcher.
Todd Pletcher, you know, if you think so, Todd came through Wayne Lucas's barn, and then Michael McCarthy came through Todd's barn, who just won the Preakness. I mean, and we're just seeing the ripple effects of, but you know what? That's a timeless art, horsemanship.
Rombauer for Michael McCarthy. It looks like all systems go leading up to the Belmont. Appears to be doing great.
Should be a really interesting Belmont. We're going to have a big field, and I think very competitive. I don't think there's any real standout, at least not yet. Someone's got to step up to the fore.
And Michael McCarthy going to be able to have his family on hand this time around for third and final leg of the Triple Crown, which will be nice to see. Chewy Good, the 5, the favorite here for Jason Barkley in this third from Churchill. Let's go to Travis Stone.
They're in the gate. And they're off. A lot of spunk. Breaks sharply. Chewy Good is there. Solomoth for that outside post comes on too, and down toward the rail, Miss Moon Pie punches through and grabs the lead. So Miss Moon Pie on through to the front. A lot of spunk. Runs in second early. Chewy Good keeping pace with them from third. Ancient Brown tries to come on to grab fourth from Lou Emma, who holds that spot down toward the rail. Solomoth is in the clear, racing sixth, and it's 5 lengths back to Ike Likes the Trailer. The opening quarter goes in 23 seconds flat. They're half mile from home. Miss Moon Pie, the leader onto the far turn, just under a length. A lot of spunk trying to keep up in second. Now a length and a half behind as Miss Moon Pie builds a 2-length lead with 3 furlongs to go. Miss Moon Pie rounding the far turn in control. Chewy Good up into second. Ancient Brown comes charging on through from between horses. Third and now second, and coming after Miss Moon Pie. And Lou Emma's in behind, cutting the corner from third. Chewy Good's coming up empty. Solomoth coming down the center of the track. There's 1 furlong to go. Miss Moon Pie short lead. Ancient Brown right there. Lou Emma switched outside for the final 1/8 of a mile. But it's still Miss Moon Pie in front. Miss Moon Pie in front at the 16th, turning back Ancient Brown, turning back Lou Emma, Miss Moon Pie, gate to wire. 2 lengths in the end. Ancient Brown was second. Lou Emma was third. It's tight for fourth, either Solomoth or Chewy Good.
Speed is so dangerous on this racetrack. Miss Moon Pie, Mitch Murrell, hats off, got to the front and just kept on going. 1-3-2 finish.
Yeah, first 2 races, first race at Churchill went wire to wire. This horse went wire to wire. Horse looked like she was a bit off form, but sometimes a horse gets to the lead and it bolsters their confidence, and she just kept finding. Good ride from Martin Garcia on Ancient Brown. He saved every inch of ground, came out when he had to, just came up second best to Miss Moon Pie, who took the flag fall to that's all.
7-2 over 12-1 over 21-1. 6-5 favorite was a no-show today.
And was in a good position, just had no run.
We're going to take a break. No charlatan in the Met Mile. That means it's back on the table for Knicks Go, your Pegasus World Cup Invitational winner for Brad Cox. We'll preview it next.
It's a Motown, the son of Uncle Mo, to win the Remsen.
Motown flying, Motown will win a Thriller, Motown to win it, and Motown has won the Hollywood Derby.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com.
and Rags to Riches is coming with a 4-wide sweep, and Tiago is in behind them. And at the top of the stretch, a filly is in front of the Belmont, but Curlin is right there with her. These two in a battle of the sexes in the Belmont Stakes. It is Curlin on the inside, Rags to Riches on the outside. A desperate finish. Rags to Riches and Curlin. They're coming down to the wire. It's going to be very close, and it's going to be a filly in the Belmont. Rags to Riches has beaten Curlin, and 100 years of Belmont history. The first filly to win it in over a century.
What a call from the great Tom Durkin. Yeah, it was a filly in the Belmont holding off an eventual two-time Horse of the Year 4. We were just talking about Michael McCarthy. He oversaw this filly for Todd Pletcher for most of her career.
Yeah, I remember him having her out in California over the winter, and then she came back east and beat the mighty Curlin. Now, to be fair, Curlin was still developing, and he wasn't quite the Curlin we came to know, but Rags to Riches was so good on the day. She stumbled badly at the break. She was 5 wide pretty much throughout, engaged the bigger colt in the stretch, and out-gamed him to the finish to give Johnny Velasquez his first classic victory. First of many, as it turns out.
How about that? He's had quite a few since. Todd Pletcher, meanwhile, he's gone on to win the Belmont with Palace Malice, with Taprit, and he'll be well-stocked again coming up soon on June the 5th to try and get the 4th Belmont of his career, with one of his horses being the Florida Derby winner, Known Agenda, who, if you go back and look at that Kentucky Derby, didn't run that bad a race.
No, he didn't. And, you know, he's a horse, though, I feel like is still figuring it out. You know, there's times you watch him and you go, okay, he's really getting there, and then he feels like sometimes he takes a little bit of a step backwards. I think he'll appreciate the 1.5 miles. He's a kind of a big, steady running horse. And Todd's got a really strong record in the Belmont Stakes. Not just 3 wins, but several seconds as well.
Working without the blinkers, as you can see in this workout, but Pletcher feels you get a little more bang for your buck when you save them for race day.
Yeah, well, if you have the blinkers on all the time, they get desensitized to it. So you want the desired effect on race day. And you can see this is kind of a classic Todd Pletcher workout for his runners, having his horses gallop out. They may work 5 furlongs, but they're going out another 1/4 mile. They're going to go out 7 furlongs. If they work a half, they're going out 6 furlongs. He puts a lot of foundation into his horses. I think that's why he's so successful at the 1.5 mile distance.
So he'll have the Florida Derby winner in the Belmont Stakes. He's also going to have his Wood winner in the Belmont Stakes. That is Bourbonic, who came from the clouds desperately up at the final moments to beat Stablemate, a dynamic one under Kinder Carmouche in that Wood win. We know one thing, he's going to be coming from extremely far back. What do you think of his chances going 1.5 miles?
Yeah, normally horses that are deep closers don't do well in the Belmont. It's horses that are more forwardly placed that are able to get position. Now, that being said, you know, I just question the overall quality of the Wood Memorial. I just haven't, you know, been impressed with anybody who's come out of it.
See, he need to take a big move forward. He was 13th in that Kentucky Derby. Really didn't make much of an impact. But it'll be great to see if Kinder Carmouche can make something happen on this horse. He certainly did in the Wood.
The thing about Kinder Carmouche, he's always got a positive attitude. And when a rider has a positive attitude, good things happen.
Loaded stakes card. An entire week with the Belmont Stakes coming up. It's going to be a fun afternoon. Grade 1 after Grade 1 after Grade 1 on that Saturday Belmont Stakes Day. Hillendale, Met Mile, Resorts World Casino, Manhattan, Grade 1 with 750,000. Then you have the Acorn, Ogden Phipps, Longines Just a Game, Jaipur, Woody Stevens, all Grade 1s on that card.
Pretty much every category is covered there, every division, and it always has the feel of a Breeders' Cup type day. Those are the kind of quality horses you're going to get and quality horsemen. I love Belmont Stakes Day.
And look, we're going to have a great crowd on hand too. We'll talk about it a little later, but this summer, Saratoga just got great news from the state of New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo as well. Full attendance looks like going to be allowed opening day at Saratoga, it sounds like.
That's fantastic, and it's fantastic for all the racing fans, and it's fantastic for all the townspeople in Saratoga who depend so much on the summer months and what the economic impact it has on the town.
And there it is, all fully vaccinated people show proof of that. Free admission on opening day at Saratoga. Tickets go on sale, as you can see, June 9th. So looking for a packed house on opening day, July the 15th, upstate at Saratoga.
Like you needed any more incentive to get vaccinated. Now,
there it is.
Free admission. Come on, people.
It's going to be a lot of fun having everybody back. That atmosphere, it is unparalleled in this game. Canterbury, let's set up race number 2. 6 furlongs. Big scratch in this race. Sharp Art was going to take a lot of attention here for Robertino Diodoro with that one out. Little Meatball now favored for Tim Padilla, who 2-back was a winner at Tampa with a big buyer. Took a big drop off, though, in that next start, tackling tougher. Here's the one. Awesome Emmett.
Does sport 5 wins at Canterbury. Is that an angle?
A couple of wins on an off track as well on the resume. Paroli, Wade Rarick just was second at Turf Paradise.
Yeah, and a horse that's tactical. He doesn't need a particular trip.
Yeah, beat by a horse named Mr. Benz, who's an 18-time winner, by the way. That was a tough group. Little Meatball, here's the current favorite, 8-5.
Yeah, Little Meatball also has a couple wins on a wet track, and who can't like a horse named Little Meatball?
Drop the gloves. 12-1 right now.
Yeah, whoever named him had to be a hockey fan. Horse does sport 6 wins at Canterbury.
And Flash Attack, Robertino Diodoro, his morning line favorite is out the 5, but he has this one in.
Yeah, horse taking a lot of money. Robertino Diodoro, 43% at Canterbury.
0 for 6 on the off track, including in the slop last start at Oakland.
Problematic.
So 2-1, just the presence of that barn is always going to take money, especially at Canterbury. As for Little Meatball, yeah, that was not the toughest of groups in that win at Tampa. And where'd that race come from? It was off the bench and then just a massive slide off that victory in that next start. Now, granted, that was stepping up and facing a lot tougher.
But do you think that maybe running that hard off the bench, just a horse that regressed?
Could be. 3 weeks later.
And there are 2 horses in here that have won on off tracks, and it's the 1 Awesome Emmett and the 3 Little Meatball. I just like saying Little Meatball.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Have you seen it?
I have not.
It's in my future, I'm sure.
It's
with
so
Little
funny.
William. 3-2 favorite, Flash Attack. So let's kind of take a closer look at the 7-year-old for Diodoro. Completely unproven on a wet track and has had plenty of chances to prove himself. What kind of trip is, and now 7-5 to me. I can understand being one of the horses to beat, but 7-5.
He's being way overbet, and I think because of the connections. Robertino Diodoro winning at such a high percentage there, and for the year, and also with Tyler Kennedy, they win at 16% together.
I really like the race Paroli the 2 is coming out of. I mentioned Mr. Benz. He's won 3 in a row, 18-time winner. This horse was extremely wide in that effort against Mr. Benz and still wound up getting second place money in that Turf Paradise race.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the horse is coming out of a good race. Did get a very fast pace to run out, which is kind of the want for Turf Paradise, right?
But was compromised a little bit with a wide trip. We'll see. Before that was a winner at 5.5. If you're trying to find, well, Little Meatball right now at 2-1. I don't trust that Tampa win. Looking at the field who was behind him that day was not that strong, to me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And just that backwards move, I don't love it. But he's a 9-time winner.
And
has a win at Gulfstream.
The wet track wins is kind of what attracts me a little bit. Do you give any look to the 1 Awesome Emmett off of his wet track races?
Well, I'll say the race he's coming out of, 3rd and 4th place finishers, they both came back to win. Warriors Lullaby actually jumped up in class and won with a much improved buyer. Got a 63 buyer for his win next time out.
He's won at Canterbury.
One on an off track.
Off tracks.
Just the recent form from him is enough to say I want a little bit better than 6-1.
You know, that's fair. I mean, you know, the last race, though, we didn't like Flip the Coin Jan because of his recency. But he did fall into the right trip. I don't think he was the best horse.
Moving in, there's the 2 Parolee. Favorite will be Flash Attack to the outside for Robertino Diodoro. We're set for the start. Early pick 4 from Canterbury Park begins here. Paul Allen with the call.
Creating a sloppy main track at Canterbury Park. And once again, we thank FS2 and America's Day at the Races for picking up our product today for this sloppy main track. And they're racing, and they've broken a line. Drop the gloves, looking to deliver a knockout punch at 21-1. Drop the gloves, right to the lead, joined by Awesome Emmett. The riders looking to sweep the first double. After that, we have Parolee moving up into third. That's the 2. And that one's to the inside of Flash Attack. Lil Meatball shoved on about 7 lengths from the lead, beginning to advance a bit, but the trailer, Lil Meatball, being worked on hard by Alonso Quinones into the far turn. And number 1 is number 1. Awesome Emmett tugs them along by a neck. Parolee is being pushed on hard by Negron, and outside of that is Flash Attack looking to flash and splash onto the scene. Lil Meatball needs to come up big from 8 lengths out of it, and they cut for the money as they head down the Canterbury Park stretch. Awesome Emmett has lost some ground. The lead now is Parolee. Outside of that is Flash Attack. Lil Meatball still 6 lengths in arrears. It is Parolee hanging around. Awesome Emmett to the inside. Outside of that, Flash Attack, but Parolee has done enough to win at 2-1. It's 2-1-6.
Parolee with the win, sort of rushed up, didn't break all that sharp, and then got involved in the mix here. Luis Negron on board for the win for Wade Rarick.
Yeah, and Luis Negron, he also rode Unleash the Beast in the last race and had a little bit of gate trouble. Didn't get off very clean this trip and made a decisive move at the half-mile pole. I thought it was a bit premature, but Parolee, once he got clear racetrack, he got in the clear. He was cleared. The Parolee was cleared.
I knew you were searching for that. 2-1-6 in the second at Canterbury. Parolee wins for the 4th time in his career. Does so at 2-1. We're going to take a break. There he is, Tom Amoss. Looking sharp on this Thursday evening. Casual Thursday for Tom. Champagne Affair. He's got the 7-5 favorite coming up at the 4th at Churchill to kick off the late pick 5. We'll be back.
Deep in the heart of horse country, from these Kentucky hills has sprung a legacy rivaled by few. From the all-time greats of yesterday to the breed-shaping bloodlines of today, our roots hold strong with the promise of tomorrow. For over a century, our passion has guided us to where we stand and everything we stand for. Claiborne Farm, the tradition continues.
Wagering on the TwinSpires app is fast and easy, and new players can take advantage of our $200 sign-up offer right now. Simply use code GET200 to start earning your $200 new player bonus when you join TwinSpires today, where you can bet on Churchill Downs as well as the best racing from around the globe. Plus, if you're looking for help to find a winner, check out our expert picks available in the app for every race. TwinSpires. Download the app and bet today.
Caraconte, a leading sire amongst his crop by percentage of stakes horses. Caraconte is off to a strong start at stud. Top runners include graded stakes winners Kenzai Warrior and Sol Volante. Plus, 2-year-old stakes winner Spanish Love Affair and dual surface dynamo Princess Grace.
To Princess Grace.
A rising star with graded stakes winners on both dirt and turf. Caraconte, standing at Gainesway.
Resorts World New York City, where New Yorkers play. 6,500 slots. Stay and play. Resorts World New York City.
My favorite race is the 2019 Kentucky Oaks with my horse, Serengeti Empress, crossing the finish line first and everything that she brought to us with that win. I don't know what it's like to actually be an athlete in a major event, but I think that walkover is about as close a feeling as you can get to it because you just feel electric inside.
They're off in the Kentucky Oaks.
I really wasn't watching her out of the gate because a horse had stumbled and lost its rider. And I immediately turned to that horse to make sure she was okay. And then I turned my attention back to Serengeti Empress, who was making the lead going to the first turn and saving ground from the 13th hole. That was the plan. So everything to this point is going great. My wife had turned to me and said, 46 and change, that is too quick for a half mile. And I turned and I said, not for my horse, it's not. Turning for home, I thought she cut the corner great. She's going to take a challenge right here. And I'm like, uh-oh. But when Serengeti sees this filly out of the corner of her eye, she re-brakes, takes off, and it's right about here where I realize I'm going to win the Kentucky Oaks.
As they come down to the line, Serengeti Empress has taken the Kentucky Oaks.
I remember raising my hands like this, and then one of my friends patted me on the back, and I lost my balance. And I fell into my daughter, and I fell into my wife, and we hit the floor. And everybody piled on like it was like we just won the World Series. I must have thought about a million things at the same time, but the most overwhelming thought in my head was my parents. And I always hoped I could do something in their lifetime that would make them proud, a signature race, and this was it for me. I mean, how do you describe something that just makes everything in the world seem great? I don't know what's in the future for Tom Amoss Racing Stable, what big races might be out there, but for me, this will be the one, and she'll be the one. I'll never, ever forget her.
I could watch that piece over and over. So happy for Tom, for his family, and how much time and effort he has put in to this craft of training horses, and to get that kind of a victory. She'd add a grade 1 in the Ballerina at Saratoga. Pretty special moment as well. Last year, she had so much heart. Here's our post parade coming up. Tom, he has the favorite in this race ahead. Here's Kayla Liu. Looks like a wide open fourth here at Churchill.
It is a wide open race. This filly's got to work out a trip from the inside, but a contender.
John Court on Gianna's Gift.
I think could play out to be the speed of the speed here.
Cipriano Contreras sends out this 13-1 shot, 6-year-old mare.
Yeah, Rahway, don't know if she's her best race is good enough here.
It's been a while since Solar Kitten has won.
Yeah, and Solar Kitten's never been on a fast dirt track.
Absolute love. So she was in the slop at Churchill last time out. She won by 16.5 lengths as the favorite.
Much easier.
That was 8,000 claiming. And Tom Amoss with Champagne Affair. She's won 3 of her last 5, including last time out.
And she's been winning at Delta Downs, which is a bull ring. The horse has to be very handy. She gets a good outside post, and she's got enough speed to put herself in the race.
Matt's Honey just 3rd in the slop. That was at Keeneland at a mile and 16th.
Yeah, but is 6 for 15 on a fast dirt track and sports 2 victories at Churchill Downs as well.
4 minutes to post, and you're looking at the market mover, Twin Spires, coming up here in this 4th race that kicks off the late pick 5, by the way. Gianna's Gift, one of several that can show speed in here. This filly mare, I should say, has sprint speed, though. The gate to wire win on this racetrack on Halloween last year at 6.5 furlongs. 2-time winner on this surface here in Louisville. 5-time winner overall for the Jerome Miller barn. John Court, the old veteran, will be aboard. Is she quick enough to steal this race with some other speed in this race? If you want to bet the market mover, go to twinspires.com or download the app. And again, get 200, that code to use at sign up. What do you think about her ability to steal this race?
Well, I don't think she can steal it because I do think she's going to face pressure, but I do think she'll be on the lead. John Court is a guy who allows horses to run into their natural gait, and I think her natural gait puts her on the lead, particularly from the inside post.
4-1 right now on Gianna's Gift, daughter of the Factor. Meanwhile, Tom Amoss's favorite, Champagne Affair, just moved to his barn. And a filly who's actually been at Churchill on a couple of occasions when she was trying to break her maiden. Back for 10,000 maiden claiming. She was 2nd in both of those races.
Yeah, and she's been showing good speed, but in slower paced races. And having the outside post, she's got the luxury of being able to see what's going on inside of her. Jimmy Graham is aggressive, but he's not a rider that's going to be looking for an all-out speed duel. You can win the battle and lose the war that way.
Well, and you look at her, too, and the good thing about her, she's versatile. She does not have to have the lead to win, and she has proven that. In fact, going 6.5 furlongs at Delta Downs when she was able to sit and stalk back in late January.
Yeah, and I think she's going to get a similar trip like that, too. I don't think she's going to give the two Gianna's Gift a lot of leeway and give her a lot of rope, but he can let her get comfortable, get into a good rhythm.
And you look where she's gone. Obviously, she's had a lot of that recent success at Delta, but she's been at Hawthorne and run well. She's won at Canterbury. And even though she didn't win at Churchill to start off her career, she ran a couple of good seconds, including second behind a next out winner in that early on race back in May of 2020 when she was trying to get that first win on the resume.
Yeah, and we're always talking about how horses change and develop. And, you know, that was as a 3-year-old filly, a young 3-year-old filly. Now she's, you know, a 4-year-old and obviously been in very good form and goes to Tom Amos's barn and comes in with a very sharp work at Churchill Downs.
Now, what about, is Matt's Honey getting overlooked at all on the outside? It's a multiple winner at Churchill. And another one, look, one at Keeneland and Churchill back-to-back last October and November.
You know, the only thing that I'm not on Matt's Honey is because the outside post, and it seems to me that speed is good at Churchill right now, and inside trips are good. You want to save ground. I don't see the kind of trip she's going to get to save any sort of ground. She's at least going to be 3 wide. Champagne Affair will probably be 2 wide. And Gianna's Gift's probably going to be on the lead on the rail.
We'll see how aggressive John Court is early on what appears to be the speed of the speed. Gianna's Gift stretching out an extra furlong here this afternoon, but it's, again, shown 6 furlong speed in the past. Gate to wire win at Churchill going 6.5 in the past, and you're getting 4-1.
Well, you know, we were talking about Serengeti Empress, and what made her special was she was a speed horse, but a speed horse, when they got to her, she'd fight for it. Most speed horses, they go gate to wire because no one ever gets to them. They might even be tiring late, but they don't get engaged. Usually when a speed horse gets engaged in the stretch, they fold. That's what made Serengeti Empress so special. Now, Gianna's Gift, if she's going to win this, she needs to put some separation at some point between her and her rivals.
This kicks off an ultra-competitive late Big Five. This race I thought was wide open, although the public seems to disagree. Tom Amos's filly, Champagne Affair, is at even money right now. 5th race appears to be wide open. 6th race you could potentially narrow down, although I thought Artistic Jeweler, the 3, who's 8-1 morning line, big chance. That feature race, Answer In, very excited to see what he can do, but as you mentioned, that's a tough inside post he's going to have to deal with tonight.
He got to work out a trip, but he's obviously very talented. But that's a really deep field. That should be a terrific horse race.
Coltonator, Banks Island, Home Base, all intriguing. Even Full Authority, big number. And then in that nightcap, you have a Damn Produced Volatile. He's getting on the turf for the first time. It's a fun Pick 5. Travis Stone with the call. It all begins right here in the 4th.
Just Matt's Honey. They're in the gate. And they're off. Gianna's Gift toward the inside. Champagne Affair from the outside. Those two fastest out of there. Rahway's in behind 3rd. Southercan moves toward the rail while Matt's Honey maintains a position on the outside. Up the chute they go. It's Gianna's Gift holding on to the lead. Leads by a length. Rahway comes on through to take over 2nd. Champagne Affairs back into 3rd. Margin of 2. Southercan advancing inside from 4th. Matt's Honey shares 5th with Absolute Love. The trailer is Callaloo. 8 lengths from top to bottom. 5 furlongs to go. The opening quarter goes in 24 and 2/5 seconds. And Gianna's Gift heading for the far turn run, a little bit off the rail, but in control. Solar Kitten trying to slip up underneath into 2nd. Rahway's back into 3rd. Champagne Affair pushed on for more speed, wide while 4th. Absolute Love angles over toward the rail, 5th with 4 lengths to make up and 3 furlongs to go. Then it's Matt's Honey, and still 5 lengths back to Callaloo. Gianna's Gift tries to give them the slip, opens up to lead by 4 at the quarter pole. Rahway trying to come on in between horses to grab second as they come off the turn. Champagne Affair was wide. Matt's Honey is there. Absolute Love trying to come up the rail, but it's all Gianna's Gift. Gianna's Gift with a 6-length lead into the final furlong. Matt's Honey is now a clear second, but time has run out to catch Gianna's Gift. Left alone on the front end, and she scores under the wire, 6 lengths to the good. Matt's Honey was second. Absolute Love was third, and Rahway was fourth.
2-7-5, Gianna's Gift. John Court knew he was on the quickest in this race. Gianna's Gift got to the front and just opened up that lead in the stretch.
John Court is so good on free-running horses like this. He allowed it to open up around the far turn, and that's another wire-to-wire winner we've seen at Churchill Downs. It feels like inside speed is so strong there right now, and you see John Court pretty confident, too. After he drew off, he didn't hands and heels to the wire, and then he was giving her a lot of love after the wire, patting her, and John Court still getting it done at an advanced stage, as a matter of fact.
4-1 on Gianna's Gift. Wins for the 6th time in her career. Looked like the quickest on paper. John Court made sure of it, taking advantage of her speed and able to handle the stretch out back to a mile. Won at this distance before here and does it again here impressively. The front, it does appear, it's been this way throughout since we've been covering this meet too. The place to be. It shows you how dangerous speed can be as a weapon.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, let's give the horse a lot of credit here. Gianna's Gift, she ran, you know, right out of the break. She was sharp. You could see her intensity, and congratulations to her connections. Gianna's Gift, gate to wire. I'm just looking for speed at Churchill. That's it.
4-1, set up well for her. Again, 6th win of her career. We'll have the prices when we come back, and we will talk Kentucky Derby favorite. It was the first loss on the resume for Essential Quality. We'll see if he can bounce back in the Belmont for Brad Cox and Godolphin. Stay with us.
To come and get Army Mule, who's pulling away by 5 and finishing fast. Army Mule, ultra impressive in the Cartery flew home. Won it by 6.
A 10 top 20 here. We can hold on the done. 221, 210,000.
Blood Horse Plus, available through bloodhorse.com, provides exclusive, timely, and unmatched content to subscribers, including Fox Sports, Blood Horse branded weekly programs, a detailed stakes winners section, behind-the-scenes videos from Blood Horse staff, on-demand access to deeper horse statistics, and a $5 monthly credit to equineline.com. Upgrade to Blood Horse Plus today.
We're back on America's Day at the Race. This program is brought to you by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. John Court got to the front on Gianna's Gift, and the 6-year-old mare, Daughter of the Factor, did not look back. She just got stronger through the stretch.
She did. He basically blew the race open, leaving the 3/8 pole, let her put some separation between the field. So we talk about with speed horses, you want to create some separation. Don't hold up and wait for the closers to be on top of you. John Court does that so well, and he's having a good Churchill Downs meet. His 4th victory there. After not that many rides, actually. 1060 for a horse that projected to be the main speed, I think turns out to be fairly generous. Matt's Honey wound up dropping back and did get to save some ground on the Mitchell Murrow before coming out to rally for second.
Began riding back in 1980, John Court.
Wow.
Going to be 61 later this year and still can do it.
Same year I started, 1980.
Really?
Not as old as him, though. All respect, John.
Tremendous rider. Been doing it for a long, long time. Belmont Stakes, 3rd and final leg of the Triple Crown, coming up on June the 5th here in Elmont, New York, in a loaded group. Many coming back from the Kentucky Derby. A lot of new faces as well. Your Preakness winner, Rombauer, will return for Michael McCarthy with a new jockey, by the way. John Velasquez will be aboard. Flavian Pratt already committed to Hot Rod Charlie. Your Kentucky Derby favorite, who suffered the first defeat of his career in that race, Essential Quality. A lot of reasons to like him based just off the trip he had in the Derby.
He didn't break particularly sharp. He got caught in a position where he was wide throughout, had dead aim, just couldn't overcome it. A race that was basically run like a merry-go-round race. The horses that were 1, 2, 3 throughout finished 1, 2, 3. He wound up 4th, ran well. Should improve. I mean, he's still the 2-year-old champion, and to me, he didn't lose anything in defeat here. He just had a tough trip.
Tough trip, tough to win from that post, lost a lot of ground. No one was making up any ground on that racetrack. And Brad Cox, we've seen it on our program a few times now. He was on the podcast with Jonathan Kinch, and he had felt when he first laid eyes on this horse that this was going to be his Belmont horse early on.
That's kind of interesting. I mean, and he's a horse that has shown that he's tactical. You want to be tactical in the Belmont. I know people hear 1.5 miles and they think, oh, that's for horses that close. No, it's for horses that can stay, get forward position, and stay. Very rarely do you see a deep closer win the Belmont.
Well, a horse who came to Brad Cox's barn and just became a different animal. Of course, that was Nick Sko, was your Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner, was so impressive in that race, would go on to win the Pegasus World Cup Invitational as well. Coming out of that Saudi Cup, wound up 4th. He is going to reroute and now head to the Met Mile with the absence of Charlatan.
When you just feel like a mile is really what he wants, might be his strength. 1-turn mile, he's a horse with a big stride that possesses speed. He'll get in a good rhythm. You know, they had to try further distances. The money was out there. They gave it a go. I think turning back to the mile is really going to be beneficial for him.
He got in just an incredible role, winning 4 in a row when he shifted to Brad Cox. He won at Oaklawn, then prep at Keeneland, and then back-to-back Grade 1 wins in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile and Pegasus with 108 Beyer speed figures in both. It's going to be fun to see him back. If he's at his best, he's one of the stars we have in this sport right now, one of the big stars.
Well, you know, the defection of Charlatan certainly helps him because, you know, he had to chase Charlatan, and he's not going to win chasing. He's a horse that needs to dominate.
Part of that incredible lineup we have for you on Belmont Stakes Day, Hillendale, Met Mile. It'll be interesting, too, to see what kind of cast is assembled for that race that historically is one of the deepest races of the entire year. We had that incredible showdown a couple of years ago with one of the most loaded Met Miles we've seen in a long time. It sounds like Dr. Post for Todd Pletcher pointing to that race as well.
Well, it's where two worlds collide. You get horses that running longer, turning back in distance, sprinters stretching out, and they meet at the mile, and it's always a terrific race for that reason. You get speed and you get stamina.
Stallion-making race.
Absolutely. If you can win going a mile in world-class company in North America, that makes you a very attractive stallion.
We're going to head back to Canterbury Park. Take a look at the field lining up for race 3 on the card. Paroli with a winner back in race 2. 3rd is a condition claiming race. 3-year-olds and up who have not won 2, or Minnesota breds who have never won 3, going a 2-turn mile. Holy Muchacho, favored right now, just 1 for 17 coming in.
Yeah, it's a little hard to take horses that are 1 for 17 at short prices, isn't it?
Start things off in the post parade with Jimmy T. Showed speed and backed up at this level last start.
Yeah, and he's 1 for 5. He was third out of 5 starts on a wet surface.
Talkin' Malice, I was intrigued by 7-2 right now, who was a winner in his debut in a stake at the Prairie Meadows Juvenile back in 2019.
Yeah, I think this horse is a major player. He drops a bit in class. He's got speed. Stretching back out.
He beat King Snake that day, who was third against Answer In, who we're going to see later tonight at Churchill. Flanagan, 23-1 big price.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Favorite, 2-1. Here's Holy Muchacho.
Yeah, I mean, he is 1 for 17, and he's got a third on 1 wet try.
Records, just by the nature of this condition, they're not great in here. Front office, 14-1. He's 1 for 25 lifetime.
Yeah, but at least you're getting a bigger price than, let's say, Holy Muchacho, who is the favorite.
2 starts back at Turf Paradise. Irish Charlie, he was 6th behind Holy Muchacho, who was 2nd. He's got 10 seconds on the resume in 34 starts.
That's way too many seconds. Maybe you want to use him underneath in your exotics.
Praise Loudly, the 7. He's 1 for 28 lifetime. He ran a good effort at Canterbury at this level last start.
Yeah, ran a very good race. Boy, it's a lot of tries, though.
Getting on a wet track for the first time in his career. And Direct Impact is a winner on the wet surface and is a 2-time winner overall.
Yeah, but boy, his recent form leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, he's had 3 starts since he came back off the bench from a win that ended his 2020 campaign at Canterbury on and off track, and he's just not shown much at all, although he did show a little life finally last time out, but he was no match for Praise Loudly and no match for Irish Charlie.
Yeah, to me, the race, I want a horse that's a little less proven, and I think that's the 2, Talkin' Malice. Horse has got some good races, has only run 6 times, has run okay in the wet, comes out of a sprint, so he should be a little bit sharper. I think there's a lot to like with the 2.
Coming out of a 15 non-winners of 2 race, and, outside of a horse we showed you with no form, you're essentially facing N2L in here anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So, gets Eddie Martin, a rider who was very successful, particularly in Louisiana, for a number of years. And he should be very sharp coming out of that sprint.
I'm with. I thought there was a lot to like with the 2. Talkin' Malice, 3-1 right now. We'll see 2 starts on the off track. Has not hit the board, but that was a decent group last time out. Did hit the board, ran 3rd, even though it was only a 5-horse field. But the ability this horse showed in the debut, beating a horse named King Snake. Again, it was 3rd in that Answer In race that we just saw last weekend, or a couple of weeks ago, I should say, when he last ran at Churchill under the lights. Showed that he has a ton of talent.
Well, if you put a line through this horse's turf races, and his first start at Fairgrounds, he was ranked, he checked. If you put a line through those races, all his other races are good enough to win this.
5-2. Co-favorite on the board is Holy Muchacho, continuing as the favorite in here. He was a beaten favorite last time out in a similar spot that was at Turf Paradise, as he made the move from turf to dirt. Got a 49 buyer for that figure, which you would figure in this race you're going to need a little bit better than that to win tonight.
Yeah, I would think so. The horse I would use underneath is the 6. I think I'll make a cold exacta 2-6 because you get a horse that's got 10 seconds. He doesn't have the most desire.
No, and you got a horse like the 7. Praise Loudly just ran 2nd at this level last time out. Actually had the lead in the stretch. Held off Irish Charlie. Paul Allen with the call. Here's the 3rd from Canterbury Park.
The 3rd race at Canterbury Park. Sloppy main track. Riders negotiating the wet going. FS2's Richard Migliori won a couple of stakes races at least on sloppy tracks. At Aqueduct, the Fall Highway Handicap in 99 aboard Richter scale. And in 2006, Afrashad for Godolphin. Richard Migliori and Greg Wolf hosting America's Day at the Races on FS2. And they're carrying the first 6 from Wet Shakopee. And they're racing. Front office right to the front. Front office 15-1. Very good early speed, and with a nice crossover, safely gets down near the inside, racing in path 2. After that is Jimmy T, and Jimmy T, the one horse, gets to the outside of that 5 as they negotiate the turn, and the pace picks up with Praise Loudly and Lindy Wade from 3rd to 2nd, joining the lead as they splash up the Canterbury Park barn side. Then we come back to Talkin' Malice. Talkin' Malice trying to cause a ruckus from 5 out of it. Outside of that is Irish Charlie, 5.5 to the good of Holy Muchacho. Then it's Direct Impact along with Flanagan. They're 12 lengths from the speed. And with 3.5 furlongs to go, Front Office and Eckleberry, the 2020 champion jockey at Canterbury, 16-1, still slug it out. Praise Loudly is next. Jimmy T 3 wide. Talkin' Malice sequestered on the move, a length and a half from the lead, and Front Office is asked for run. Then we come to Irish Charlie, looking for the luck of the Irish, but not doing much, and Front Office has taken the lead now by more than 1. Meanwhile, Talkin' Malice catches an Aqueduct to the inside and is looking to take advantage. Talkin' Malice and Front Office, 5.5 to the good of Jimmy T. Is the upset on in race 3? Front Office 16-1, slugging it out with Talkin' Malice at 9-5, and Talkin' Malice has taken the lead, and the Malice is on, not being very nice to Front Office. Talkin' Malice by 3, beating Front Office, and Holy Muchacho ran 3rd.
Talkin' Malice, 4-year-old son of Palace Malice. For Gary Scherer, Eddie Martin Jr. aboard.
And you could see midway down the backstretch, Talkin' Malice was traveling sweetly under Eddie Martin Jr., who's going to need some room. When the leader drifted off the fence, he had his room, and he kept finding. Nice ride by Eddie Martin Jr. Get his first win of the meet on Talkin' Malice, the horse who lightly raced, hadn't proven that he couldn't compete at this level yet.
Front Office made it interesting at a big price. Comes up short, though. Talkin' Malice wins for the 2nd time in his career. Here in this 3rd from Canterbury. We'll have the prices when we come back, when we return. Godolphin chose not to come to the Kentucky Derby with their UAE Derby winner Rebels Romance because they had essential quality. He will be showing up for the Belmonts. For Charles Appleby making his States debut ahead. We'll preview it next.
This season, make Friday nights Monmouth Park nights. Live racing starts at 5 p.m. every Friday, featuring big fields and 6-figure pools. Unwind from a long week and kick your weekend off early. Take advantage of ample opportunities to pad your weekend bankroll. Fridays start at 5 at Monmouth Park Racetrack.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and NYRA Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With NYRA Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the NYRA Bets app or visit nyrabets.com.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
Good to have you with us on this Thursday evening here on Fox Sports 2. You're watching America's Day at the Races and the home of racing from Churchill Downs here on Fox Sports. Greg Wolf, Richard Migliori, Frank Lyons with you as we get set for the 5th at Churchill to kick off the late pick 4. It's a $75,000 maiden claiming event. 1-turn mile prime time player dropping in for attack for the first time for trainer now Ron Moquett. Looks tough in this spot here. Was just a distant second to Risk Profile. Ran huge for George Weaver at an 87 buyer in that win.
Yeah, and also this horse had trouble at the break and rallied well to be second. Should be closer, too, going the mile, don't you think? Put himself more in the game.
Yeah, you would think stretching out from 6 furlongs last time out. 9-5 favorite. We'll get to the 2 in a moment. Going to kick off the post parade with Tall Timber, who didn't attract much attention first time out at Keeneland, was 18-1 for Jack Sisterson.
Yeah, and the horse had a little bit of trouble out of the gate. Certainly he's going to have to improve, but could stretching out.
Here's the favorite, Tyler Gaffalione rides.
I think coming out of a pretty strong race and stretching out is going to help this horse as well.
$500,000 son of Curlin, Dale Romans.
Yeah, really broke slowly first time out and caught a very fast pace.
Be a popular one in Kentucky. Rupp and Ready first time out. The Dam won on a race taken off the turf and on the turf at Arlington.
And you can see him giving Jimmy Graham a little bit of a hard time, trying to buck a little bit.
Here's Abdan at 3-1 for Al Stall.
Yeah, I think a major player horse that's been showing speed, and I think we've learned you want speed at Churchill Downs.
Road Bible, 2 starts against straight maidens, has beat only 2 horses in those 2 races combined.
Yeah, chased a very fast pace last time in the slap. Could be forwardly placed.
Was in against some really good ones, including that Have to Justify, though, Stage Raider. Tis Life, start number 2, had to face Happy Mac in the debut. We'll talk more about that one in a moment. Outside, major player June Sandra for Don Von Hemel.
Yeah, and a horse that can be forwardly placed, but Francisco Arrieta is going to have to be aggressive from that post. I just don't think you want to be caught wide at Churchill Downs.
3 minutes to post. 5th at Churchill. If you want to play this race, you can do so by getting signed up and started with Twin Spires. Take advantage of their new player offer. Go to the app or go to twinspires.com. Get 200, that code to use at sign up, and get a $200 new player bonus when you get ready to roll with them. This race kicks off the late pick 4. The favorite's primetime player. The 2, Ron Moquett, Tyler Gaffalione, will be aboard as you take a look at Tall Timber, Jack Sisterson, Calumet, team up with a son of Mineshaft. And, you know, we say it a lot, you can improve so much from that first to the second start. We'll see if Tall Timber does. Meanwhile, here's June Sandra, who dropped into this maiden 75 level last time out. Was 4th, beat 3 1/4 lengths here at Churchill.
That was going 7 furlongs. Pretty sharp pace on that day. Just the way the track's playing, though, I think he's going to have to find his way towards the inside to get the best of his abilities. Tall Timber's a horse that had a look to me watching his replay that would improve vastly in the second start, and he adds blinkers. And he is taking some money today, 5-1 right now.
He had an inside post in the debut. He got off to a slow start. Now he's drawn on the rail for start number 2. Not a great place to be. We'll see if he can break better today as we look at our trainer standings. Top rider at the meet right now, Tyler Gaffalione. 24 victories for young Tyler, and he'll be on primetime player on the son of Go Sapper,
who is a primetime player in here. And Matt Musiker, Tyler Gaffalione's agent, has done a very good job of guiding this young man's career and getting him a steady stream of very live horses to ride.
I said trainer meant jockey standings there. Tyler, he's just terrific. Had a breakout win in the Preakness a couple of years ago on War of Will.
Yeah, I mean, to win a classic that young, and it proves to other people that you can win those kind of races, so it's going to create more opportunities for you.
2-1 favorite in here as this son of Go Sapper drops in for a claiming tag for the first time with more. Let's go to Frank Lyons.
Thank you, guys. I heard Richard talking about the 1, Tall Timber. I agree 100% with you, Richard. This horse is going to improve. Second him out, he's a big horse, and he would have Jack will have given him an education. First him out, drops him in through maiden special weight. They only paid $100,000 for this horse. He's in for 75. There is some very well-bred horses in this race that cost a lot of money. For instance, the 2-horse primetime player cost $430,000 at the Keeneland September sales as a yearling. Finished second
second behind a George Weaver previously trained by Chad Brown. Risk performance last time out. He was... Primetime Player was stuck between two sons of Into Mischief last time out, but he was beaten 8 3/4 lengths. The third place finisher, Absolute Courage, is from the Shug McGahey barn. Then the 3, Curlin Lane, is by Curlin out of Harriet Lane. She won the La Habra at Santa Anita. This will cost $500,000. Is being dropped in to maiden 75,000 a second start. Then the 5, Abdan. He is going to be definitely part of the pace in this race. The horse finished third last time out. It was on a race that was scheduled for the grass. It was taken off the grass. He was third, beaten 4 lengths, third of 5, though. I'm not really sure. He looks well in the post parade, but and I just think that this race is a very evenly matched field. Then the 6, Road Bible. Do you remember Wonder Gal? She was third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, made over 900,000. This one cost 610,000 by Pioneer of the Nile. That's the 6, Road Bible. Then the 7, Tis Life, is out a great mare, Tis Miss Sue. She won the Ogden Phipps. She won the Azeri in 2012, 2013. This is a son of American Pharaoh, also being dropped in in a second start. So I just think that it's a very evenly matched field, but I just see major improvement in the 1, Tall Timber. Guys?
Frank, thank you. And you can just, so many times that debut race, it's just about getting an education, and you can get a huge wake-up call and just a massive leap forward. In start number 2, Tall Timber making start number 2, Curlin Lane. Start number 2, Tis Life, start number 2. And Tis Life, the 7, had to deal with Happy Mac first time out, who looked even in defeat after winning first time out. 86 Beyer going 21-3, 44-2 to the half for Steve Asmussen, running second in his debut. I think Happy Mac has a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Son of Run Happy. And Tis Life, has every right to get better. He actually broke okay. He just lacked speed, but that was going 5.5. He gets to go a mile now. By American Pharaoh out of a Tis Now mare, you would think that the distance would suit him. The 3, Curlin Lane, he has to break. I mean, he just absolutely walked out of the starting gate. He basically, they opened the doors and he asked, am I allowed to go 2 now, before he jumped out of the gate. Tall Timber really looked like a green horse to me that should improve a lot with the run. Unfortunately, he gets the rail again.
Yeah, down on the inside. He had a slow start in his debut from post 2. Now he's the inside, but we'll see if he can improve. Start number 2. We're set for the 5th here. Start of the late pick 4 from Churchill. Travis Stone with the call.
Waiting for Rupp and Ready and June Sandra. They're in the gate. And they're off. Curlin Lane with a good beginning from mid-pack. Abdan is also there. Showing speed is Road Bible, and Tall Timber down inside is up close to Tis Life, joins them to make it 5 across the track early on, where Abdan is in front of Tall Timber. They're head-and-head for the lead as they race up the chute and come for the main track. In behind is Curlin Lane. Racing third, Road Bible moves up 1 spot now, takes over third. Curlin Lane is back into 4th. Tis Life is 5th by 2. Primetime Player 6th. Then it's Rupp and Ready down inside 7th, and June Sandra, the last of them all. Down the backstretch run, the opening quarter goes in 22 and 4/5 seconds, and Tall Timber takes the lead, 4.5 furlongs out. Abdan is right there alongside in second. They're halfway home with Road Bible in the clear, racing up into third. Curlin Lane tucked away toward the inside. Now back up into third for that one. Road Bible is wide on the track, back into 4th. Primetime Player, steady progress up to be 5th now. Only 4 lengths behind with 3 furlongs to go. And farther back, June Sandra is coming with a wide run. Rupp and Ready down toward the rail, and Tis Life at the back. So round the far turn, Tall Timber trying to see it out. Turning by the quarter pole, still still in front. Abdan to the attack. Road Bible's there. Primetime Player bursts on the scene with a big move on the far turn and is closing in quickly. There's 1 furlong to go. Abdan short lead. Primetime Player, Road Bible, Tall Timber toward the rail. It's still Abdan in front. Half-length advantage. 100 yards to go. Primetime Player pounces outside. Takes the lead. Primetime Player to the front. Primetime Player the winner. Abdan was second. Tall Timber was third. And Road Bible finished fourth.
Prime Time Player just getting by Abdan for the win in here. Much improved effort, too, from Tall Timber, winding up third.
Yeah, broke much sharper, showed speed from the inside, hung in there gamely through the stretch. Abdan had good speed. He hung on, and Primetime Player, maybe a little bit against the grain of the racetrack, makes the last run towards the outside. You could see him covered with the kickback, that dirt thrown back from the horses in front of him. Very confident handling by your leading rider, Tyler Gaffalione.
Another win for Tyler, 2-5-1 here in the 5th. And horse who goes off your favorite gets the win here at 2-1, son of Go Sapper out of a Mine Shaft mare, and it's the drop in class. Helping pay dividends here. Abdan runs a good one too, forwardly placed, winds up second. Going to talk a little more Belmont here coming up. In connections of Rebels Romance, Godolphin. They had Essential Quality, the horse to beat going into the Kentucky Derby, decided to pass on the Derby with Rebels Romance. He will make his presence felt, though, in the third and final leg of the Triple Crown in the Belmont as he makes his States debut. This is his win in the UAE Derby. One of the first 3 starts of his career, then he got beat in the prep for this, but he bounced right back with a win.
It impressed me about him. It makes you think that the 1.5 mile should suit him. Because this was going a 1 3/16, and how long he traveled into the bridle. I mean, he turned into the straight, still in the bridle before being set down. He's on his left lead. Eventually, right there, he changed his right lead, and that's kind of when he panned out and he started finding more. He was ridden here by William Buick, who I've just been so impressed with. He's become one of Godolphin's main contract riders.
He worked yesterday, 6 furlongs, 114-1, and already in that UAE Derby. You know, there's only a couple of Derby preps, Louisiana Derby, another one of them, that are at a classic distance.
It was kind of interesting. He was running around the far turn on his right lead before switching to his left lead right before they turned for home. Now he's on his left lead through the straight. He's a little bit confused, a little, got a little bit backwards with his leads. He's going to have to get that sorted out to get the 1.5 miles, and a little bit of an unusual training situation. This is his 3rd workout, speed workout, in 8 days. You can kind of see he got in front of his workmate, and either he got to waiting or he lost a little energy because the rider really had to ride him out to get him to keep that advantage he had put on his workmate. Basically worked out another furlong after the wire. Things with the lead's problematic, though. You don't want to run around turns on your right lead, straightaways on your left lead. When you're facing top flight company, those are the things that need to be worked out beforehand.
We'll see. The 1.5 miles, big question for everybody, of course, in a distance that they'll very likely never, ever go again in their careers. Rebels Romance now got to deal with shipping to the States for the first time as well on top of that.
A big rangy individual, and I don't think he'll have a problem with the distance, but he's going to have to do it properly with his leads. And I'm just a little bit baffled by the work schedule. Normally horses gallop 5 or 6 days. They have a work day, which is their speed work. Then they'll have a walk day, and then they'll have 5 or 6 gallop days. But he's actually had 4 speed works in 8 days. That's a lot of work.
You look at this group, who's going to line up. Who intrigues you the most?
Well, I do think Rombauer's Freakness was for real. I think he showed he's a real horse. I don't think that was a fluke by any means. Interesting that Hot Rod Charlie gets Flavian Pratt, who rode Rombauer in the Preakness. Maybe he was committed to him already. He was 3rd on Hot Rod Charlie in the Kentucky Derby. Yeah. Very, very likely. And then Essential Quality, your 2-year-old champion, trying to get back on the beam, going a 1.5 miles. It's a very intriguing race, but I do think Rombauer's for real.
Okay, we'll see if he can do it. Little engine that could. He looks like
not the biggest horse,
yeah,
but extremely efficient. His mechanics, his stride, he covers a lot of ground for not a very big horse.
And Michael McCarthy believes he can run all day too. So we'll see. You're going to need to go in a 1.5 miles. Going to be fun to see coming up on June the 5th on a tremendous card here on Belmont Stakes Day. A lot more coming up from Canterbury Park, from Churchill Downs as well. Let's go back to Churchill. Primetime player, picture time. Son of Go Sapper drops in for 75, maiden claiming. Previously trained by Wayne Catalano. Second start with Ron Moquette, trainer of Whitmore, and gets him to the winner's circle.
Yeah, and again, I think this is a little bit against the grain of the racetrack. It feels like it's an inside kind of racetrack. Now, that doesn't mean horses can't win on the outside, but I think it definitely helps the inside runners. I think it helped Tall Timber, who hung in there very gamely after showing that good speed from the rail. Abdan as well, who jumped back to his left lead late. But primetime players, significant drop in class. When you go from maiden allowance against that tough company to maiden claiming, even if it is 75, it's a huge drop in class, and primetime player reports home as your favorite at 620 to win.
Owned by William Sparks. 2 today for Tyler Gaffleone. Abdan Tall Timber complete a trifecta that comes back $113 for 2. And the favorite starts off the late pick 4 at Churchill. Let's go back to Canterbury Park. The Brooks Fields is coming up next. Stakes race, it was scheduled for the turf. They're off the turf all evening long in Shakopee. So now on the main track in here, and obviously changes things quite a bit. The 2 Emmys comes out of the race here in this spot. We'll get a look at this field here in just a second coming up. Hieronymus, Brad Cox, going to try dirt for the first time now.
Got a pedigree that suggests that the dirt shouldn't be a problem. His dam was a stakes place winner on dirt. Girolamo was a grade 1 winner on dirt, and he throws 14% winners on off racetracks.
We'll see if the slop is something Hieronymus is up to. Multiple stakes winner for Brad Cox. Was competitive against Smooth Like Straight. Couple starts back. Another Michael McCarthy trainee, by the way.
Yeah.
Field Pass was in that spot, but sloppy going. Can he get it done here on this off track? We will find out shortly. Noble Pursuit, the 3 is the favor right now. This horse has reeled off 5 consecutive victories for Robertino Diodoro, and the streak started. The last 4 came on turf. It started on dirt at Turf Paradise.
Yeah, that started on dirt for maiden 7,500, and then he hit the turf where he's undefeated. I don't see him as the favorite.
Well, here's 5-2 on Hieronymus. Ryan Eichelberry will be aboard from the inside.
I think this pedigree suggests the dirt should be fine. I think Hieronymus is the horse to beat.
4 for 7 record to this point. Again, all those coming on turf, multiple stakes winner. Giant Payday. He actually won this race back in 2019.
Yeah, and a horse that is okay in a wet surface and gets Saratoga native Dean Butler aboard.
15-1, big price on the Son of Giants Causeway. Noble Pursuit. So here he is. He's won 5 in a row, including the one that started it off on dirt at Turf Paradise against a very low level.
I just think he's a better turf horse, and I think people are getting a little carried away with this Robertino Diodoro runner.
Lord Dragon, 5-year-old Oxbow gelding.
I thought this horse has a look. He tries hard. He runs good on dirt. He's been okay in wet. I think at 5-1, he's a player.
Only trying an off track for Touch Revenge was a winner, and this horse has speed.
Speed's always dangerous. He might. You think he's going to be loose? I think he's going to have some company.
He's got sprint speed. Carlos L. This horse has shown speed going 1.5 miles last couple of starts on the outside.
Yeah, but look at his sloppy track race in December at Hawthorne where he was on the lead. Maybe he just really loves off-going. His best races have been, 2 of his better races have been in off-going.
Could be. He's 2 for 3 on a wet track. He's a Group 1 winner on the dirt in Panama. Trained by McLean Robertson now, and Alex Conchari will be aboard. He's your favorite.
I can see him as the favorite. I don't see the 3 at all at a short price, but I could see him as a favorite. I like some others in here, but obviously Carlos L is a huge player.
A lot of times, though, too, you come out of those longer races. He's coming out of Belmont distance races, 1.5 miles. That can dull your speed, can it?
It could, but this horse is unusual. A horse that can show speed to win going 6.5, 22.45 beyond the lead, and then carry it 1.5 miles. It's very, very unusual.
They tried him, too. Just 3 starts back in a race at Oaklawn against Snapper St. Clair is a very good horse. That was a tough spot. He was in Plainsman, Thirst for Life. Those are nice horses. Obviously, it was a bit beyond his scope, but then he came back and ran a 96 Beyer to win the Temperance Hill.
I have a question about him, though. If looking at his form, the only time he wins is when he makes the lead. And you're 100% right about Tut's Revenge having sprint speed, right? What does this horse do, Carlos L., if he doesn't make the lead?
We'll see. Maybe he's just too good anyway.
I like the one horse. I think, Godolphin horse, Brad Cox leaving him in, got a pedigree that suggests the dirt will be okay. And the 4 horse, Lord Dragon. I think he's got races on the dirt that are good enough to make him a competitor here at a decent price.
Again, you have to look at the board a little bit. I think, do you want to take 2-1 on Hieronymus trying a brand new surface for the first time at that shorter price?
Well, that's fair. I'd rather take 2-1 on him than 5-2 on the 3.
Well, let's take a look at Noble Pursuit. 5-2 for Robertino Diodoro. He's reeled off 5 consecutive wins, this horse. Diodoro, Canterbury, 236 wins over the last 5 years, including 7 stakes. In the money 58% of the time.
Very strong statistics. And you can understand why his horse is probably, in a situation like this, will get overbet.
Took a little while. Wow, had to drop this. This horse actually started out with John Sadler and showed ability against Maiden Special way back when, in 2019, on the very tough Southern California circuit. Was off for a long time, over a year, and then obviously wasn't the same horse when he came back.
No, and listen, they started him back. He came back when he broke his maiden, when he got to Turf Paradise, 7,500. But it seems like when they switched to the turf is when the horse found his home. And I think the race being taken off the turf because of the inclement weather hurt him probably more than anybody.
Well, finding the turf and going marathon distances, too.
Yes, yeah. I mean, look, he won going a mile and 7 furlongs last time, a mile and 3/8 the time before that. Now he turns back to a mile and he catches an off racetrack. Well, he's drifted now 3-1, but I don't see him at a short price at all.
Now, presence of this trainer with those silks, Godolphin, Brad Cox, and we were just talking about essential quality in the Belmont. They're always going to take money. It doesn't matter what racetrack they're at, even if it's a brand new surface for a horse. But a horse who, too, is a multiple stakes winner, won the Black Gold, won the Randy Romero Memorial, a couple of stakes at Fairgrounds, won first time out, too, showed ability to do that in his Ellis debut. And when he's won, when he's been effective, he's been forwardly placed on the grass.
Well, you got to think he's going to be forwardly placed again because they've got to be worrying about the kickback. He's never had to contend with that because he's run on turf. So that is something else he's got to contend with. And you make a great point. You want a horse doing something for the first time as your favorite? Probably not.
And now he is the favorite, by the way, as we look at the 4. Lord Dragon, 6-1 here on a horse second off the claimed off of Robertino Diodoro. Tough thing to do because usually you think when people say that, well, those sharp barns usually have them at their best.
Yeah, they're tough to improve on. They're good horsemen. They run their horses where they belong, though. So I think Lord Dragon has the look of a player because, all right, so how is this race going to run? Carlos L., when he runs his best, shows speed. Now, he is coming at 1.5 mile races, so maybe his speed's a little dull. Tut's Revenge has sprint speed, as you talked about. Hieronymus has run his best races forwardly placed. Who are the truest closers? Well, Noble Pursuit is, but I think he's a better turf horse. Giant Payday, I think, is a better turf horse. I want Lord Dragon. I think he gets the right setup. I think he can come from off the pace.
Well, he's 6-1 right now. All 5 of the wins coming on the main track. Wet tracks, though, has not been his friend.
No, and it's problematic. But I'm going to go with the theory that he does have 2 seconds on wet surfaces, and he is the best option of the closers.
He's gone back class 2. He faced Snapper Sinclair. He faced Silver Prospector. Was only beat a length, ran a 91 Beyer. That was at Churchill, October of last year. And before that, I mean, he was on a roll and earned the right to be in against horses like that when he reeled off 3 consecutive victories at Churchill and Lone Star. He is intriguing, 7-1. Favorite, though, wow, that is a lot of money in Hieronymus for Brad Cox and Godolphin. The inside post and sloppy track dirt debut for this son of Girolamo. It is the Brooks Fields from Canterbury Park. We'll send you to Paul Allen to load him up.
Giant Payday, the field's long shot, won it in 2019. Slough City, Ziggy, riding for trainer Chad Stewart, won the first Brooks Fields in 1995. Carlos L, 2-1. Hieronymus, the Cox Charge, 3-2 in favored. Here is Tut's Revenge, winner of the 2020 Mystic Lake Mile, 5-1. And Carlos L, wearing the Good Friends colors. Conchari won a stakes race with this guy at Oaklawn. It had come for the Brooksfield Stakes. And they're racing. Not a great beginning for Noble Pursuit at 5-1. He'll have to win 6 in a row from last. Hieronymus flies through on the inside to grab the early lead in the Brooksfields and is joined by Tut's Revenge, and they are 1.5, maybe 2 clear from Carlos L as they corner. 5 after that to Giant Payday, who never has won on the main track, and now he's 7 lengths from the lead because 1 and 5 are absolutely flying. Right behind them, Carlos L as they head up the barn side. Then we come to Lord Dragon, looking to earn his claim to fame in a stakes race from 10 out of it, and about 5 clear from Noble Pursuit. This one splashes along in search of 6 consecutive wins, but far out of it. They have a half mile to go in the $50,000 Brooksfield Stakes, and we have 3 astern. Hieronymus secures the inside, and next to that one is Tut's Revenge. Carlos L being niggled at by Conchari, and now is 1.5, 2 back as 1 and 5 cut clear, and they are far clear from Lord Dragon. After that, Giant Payday, and not 2 day for Noble Pursuit. They have a 1/4 mile to go in the 27th Brooksfield Stakes, and Hieronymus and Tut's Revenge are locked in battle as they head for home. Carlos L has dropped out of it. In third is Lord Dragon making a move into the final furlong. Hieronymus. Outside of that is Tut's Revenge. Here's Lord Dragon earning his claim to fame in a stakes race. Hieronymus, Tut's Revenge. Ooh, it's very tight late. It's Lord Dragon ruling over the Brooks Fields for now.
Lord Dragon shifting outside, crossing the wire first, but we're going to take a look at this stretch again.
Yeah, there was some bumping deep stretch. I'm not sure until you see a head-on, but it appeared to me that maybe the one, Hieronymus, came out into the 5-horse, Tut's Revenge. Let's see, you can see that the 5-horse lugged in right there. I mean, the 4-horse, Lord Dragon. He was corrected. He comes out. Now he hits him right-handed. He takes a step in, but the inside horse comes out right there. That's the horse that caused the contact. The 1 horse came out into the 5, who then in turn knocked into the 4. And is a very close photo for second.
I think the 5 might have eked out second. It was close. You could see Romas Chirinos having to take up momentarily there. It's still finishing to the wire. I believe got second, but this was tight.
No, this was very tight. But again, you're going to see right here, the 1 came out under left-handed pressure, and he actually even bumped the 4 enough where the rider lost his balance a little bit. Ruben Fuentes, who had a little bit of a hard time controlling his horse, wanted to lug in a little bit, probably would have been better served to put the riding crop in his left hand. Not quite sure why he didn't, but you can see even there, he's doing his best to stay off of the 4-horse, excuse me, the 5-horse Tut's Revenge. But race kind of shaped out the way I thought it might, and it does appear like that maybe the 5 did get that last bob. I think if there's any problem, it's with the 1, Hieronymus. Until we see a head-on, you can't be 100% sure, but that's what it looked like on the pan shot to me.
And Hieronymus showing it, look, doesn't win here, but could handle the surface and actually got to the front in here under Rye Eichelberry. And nice call, though, and Lord Dragon ran a big race.
Well, it just appeared that there was the main contenders all had speed, so who was the most logical closer? That's who I landed on, so he got up and won. Hopefully he's not a part of this inquiry, because there should be an inquiry. Certainly it appeared to me that the 1, Hieronymus, hampered the 5, Tut's Revenge.
Yeah, it definitely comes out into the 5, Tut's Revenge. Take another look here. Keep your eyes on the 1. Blue silks, white blinkers, and there's the bump.
Yeah, and it really appears strongly to me it was the one that came out into the 5, and then he in turn bumped the hindquarters of the 4.
And it was the 5, Touch Revenge, who did get up for second. So this really won't have an impact if it was the 1's fall, right?
Well, again, you know, until we see a head-on, you can't be 100% certain. You could see right there that the eventual winner, Lord Dragon, did lug in behind that horse, had to be corrected, pulled out, and the rider goes back to a right hand, which isn't the smartest move in this situation. You're running by them. Stay away from them. You know, somebody much smarter than me years ago has told me there's 2 rooms you want to stay out of, the courtroom and the operating room. Well, you can add this steward's room to that because you never know which way it's going to go.
We'll see if we'll get a head-on look to be able to see more exactly what's going on in here. Objection, inquiry sign, they're up. Unofficially, 4-5-1 finish. Lord Dragon really just handling this off going, but there's the bump, the 1, the 5. Was there anything else there?
Again, without the benefit of the head-on, I think the 1 horse created the most problem. He came out the most.
No question.
Yeah. The 1 horse created this whole problem. He almost knocked.
It creates a domino effect.
Yeah, and he almost knocked Ruben Fuentes on Lord Dragon off of his horse. He got hit so hard in his hind end. So to me, it was the 1 who wound up finishing behind Touch Revenge, the horse that he impeded. And honestly, this is on his rider.
With that left-handed
prop? Yeah, but you've got to maintain a straighter course than that. You can't put other riders and horses in jeopardy like that. And this is one where there shouldn't be a change in the order of finish because the 1 finished behind Touch Revenge, the 5. But this rider should be talked to by the stewards and potentially given a suspension for that. You can't just run into people. It's not bumper cars.
4-5-1. Lord Dragon, your winner. 6th win of his career. Chris Richards, 2nd off the claim. Claims this horse off of Robertino Diodoro, a couple back for $17,500. Nice claim.
Nice claim and got the right setup. Listen, he was aided by a very fast pace and by
the weather.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if it was on the grass, you know, you're looking elsewhere. But he wound up actually taking a lot of money late to go off 7-2. But he got the trip that I kind of envisioned. And Greg, that's kind of how I handicap. I look at it like how I used to look at races when I was riding. How is this race going to run? Where's the speed coming from?
All right, so let's go back to Churchill. An objection inquiry still going on. They have arrows on all top 3 finishers, but from what it looks like, it's what we talked about. Back at Churchill. Race 6. And it's currently Camellia Gal, who's favored in here. Mile and a 16th on the turf, 50,000 starter allowance coming up.
Mike Maker on the turf, always tough, very consistent performer.
Here's the 1, Shelley's Gem at 30-1.
Yeah, 0 for 2 on the turf. Even her synthetic races aren't that good.
Glamour Girl, 8-1 here for Larry Jones.
You're trying turf for the first time.
Race 2 back from Artistic Jeweler at Fairgrounds. That would put this filly right in the winner's circle.
Yeah, and then faced much tougher last time at Keeneland.
Here's the Mike Maker favored at 2-1 with Ricardo Santana Jr.
She's a filly that's versatile. She can show speed at times. She can loom from off the pace. Certainly a player.
Major player here and hat tip for Brian Williamson.
This is kind of who I liked a little bit more. I just think she gets the right kind of trip. I've been very impressed with Adam Beschizza, particularly on the turf.
A lot of upside on a light race 3-year-old filly here, Temperea.
Yeah, and she rallied very wide last time at Keeneland. Another horse that's a major player here.
Was in that hat tip race, was 3rd behind her in her turf debut. The 7, Turnstone, trained by John Ortiz.
Yeah, 2 starts on turf. Her first one, back in a maiden race, was very good.
And into victory with Jimmy Graham, 9-1 on the outside, trained by Joe Sharp.
Yeah, and a horse that her turf races, to me, leave a lot to be desired.
Time for our Twin Spires Market Mover. And it is the 2, Glamour Girl, filly by Tonalist, who is getting on the turf, as Mig mentioned, for the first time in her career. Coming in from Oaklawn. Last win was back at Churchill Downs on the main track. That's when she broke her maiden at 1 mile and a 16th against the next out winner. Now we'll try grass here under the Twin Spires. If you want to play the Market Mover, or anybody else in this upcoming race, download the app or go to twinspires.com. Get 200, that code to use at sign up. Check in with Frank Lyons for more.
So, Wolfie, looking through this race, I see it as a wide-open race. But the filly that I heard Richard mention and that I kind of like is Turnstone, the 7. She finished second in only 2 turf starts. She finished second in her first start to the Alstall trained In Good Spirits. She was a very good filly around here several years ago, well, a couple of years ago, and this filly finished a good second to her. Then she tried Great Island, who won a stake at Gulfstream Park this winter in her next start, so she was, entitled to be beaten 10 lengths in that race. They have never gone back to the turf, but she's won her last 2 on the main track at Oaklawn Park. She's an Arkansas bred by Double Irish out of an Affleet Alex mare. I think that the return to this turf course is going to be a good move for that filly. Then the 5, Hat Tip. She finished 5.5 lengths behind the Brendan Walsh trained, Julian Leparoux ridden Lake Lucerne, who was probably the most impressive allowance, one other than allowance winner on the grass at this meet so far. And she only got beat 5 3/4 lengths. She gets Adam Beschitza aboard today, and that'll be a nice rider change. He finished second on her 2 starts back at Keeneland on the grass, finished second behind Hey Kitten, and Temperea, the 6 horse. This filly is by Temple City, out of a mare that broke her maiden at Del Mar on the grass. Artistic Difference. Bob Hess trained her. She tried the grass first time, last time out. She was 6 wide and in the stretch. And now in her second start on the grass, I just see her moving forward, probably making that step forward that probably several in here have no right to do. Then Camellia Gal is your favourite. She looked well there. She is 6-5 right now, and I think probably a little too short a favourite. Wolfie?
Frank, thanks. Travis Stone with a call here, 6 from Churchill.
And the rough. Camellia Gal bounces right out of there. Opens up to lead by 2 in the first few jumps. Now tries to back down the pace, and with that, Artistic Jeweler comes on, and so too does Into Victory. So 3 across the track, and now 2 across. Camellia Gal and Into Victory. Artistic Jeweler backs off and tucks in toward the rail to be 3rd. Touchstone comes away in 4th. Glamour Girl's now 5th. Shelley's Gem down inside 6th. Temperea's away racing 7th and 8 lengths off the lead. The early trailer is Hat Tip as they move for the backstretch run. Camellia Gal out there setting the pace, unopposed so far. Into Victory backed off on that first turn, sitting in 2nd while outside. Artistic Jeweler is cruising along down inside 3rd. Turnstone not far behind 4th, well within striking range, reserved at that spot. Shelley's Gem at the rail racing 5th, Glamour Girl 6th, Temperea and Hat Tip at the back. Fractions 24-1 to a 49 flat half-mile time. They're onto the far turn. Camellia Gal holding on to that lead, leads by a length. Into Victory 2nd. Turnstone turns up the pressure while wide. Artistic Jewelers bottled up down toward the rail. Shelley's Gems putting in a far turn bid, and Temperea's catching up quickly too. At the top of the stretch, Camellia Gal turning for home. Turnstone draws alongside. These 2 spurred away to lead by 4. Hat Tip appears on the scene, now 3rd outside. Temperea flattened out in 4th, down to the final 16th. Turnstone short lead. Camellia Gal tries to fight on. Hat Tip is 3rd, down to the finish. Turnstone the victor. Turnstone wins by 2. Camellia Gal 2nd. Hat Tip was 3rd, and Temperea finished 4th.
Turnstone much different than when she was last on the grass. That was at Keeneland when she made no impact whatsoever. Gets her first turf win and her 3rd chance.
Yeah, and good call with Frank Lyons. He liked this filly, and she was always in good position on Gabe Saez. Never allowed the 4, your favorite Camellia Gal, too far a lead on him. Horse is in position, finished 1-2.
Gabriel Saez aboard for the victory, 4th career win, 1st on turf. Switching surfaces, he's won 3 in a row now back-to-back wins on dirt. Interesting move to even put her on the grass.
Yeah, Jada and Anthony's short-leaf stable. Well, Oaklawn Park over the winter, they didn't have grass as an option to get back to Churchill Downs. And a dual surface winner now.
Well, she'd proven in the past that she liked this Churchill Downs turf. She'd only been on twice before her turf debut, actually. It was in a maiden special at Churchill, and she was second to 51-1 against the next out winner. So well done by these connections to find out a surface that she had got back to running really good on and showed promise on before. We're going to return with a story of an undefeated colt hoping to make a big impact in the handicap division. Happy Saver, who's back in action tomorrow. Stay with us.
Ironicus. This graded stakes winning millionaire defeated over 20 Grade 1 winners. A Grade 2 winner and course record setter at Saratoga. He won 3 graded stakes and was runner-up in multiple Grade 1 events. Top runners include graded stakes winner Helium.
Repels the challenge. It's Helium in a huge effort.
The leading money earner at stud for emerging Sire of Sires distorted humor, Ironicus, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Now more than ever, it's time to get with the program because New York breds start with an advantage. New York breds run for serious green. At Belmont and Saratoga, New York bred maidens run for up to $75,000 and allowance horses for up to $85,000. And serious New York bred owners can collect awards of up to $20,000 per horse per race in open company. So get back with the program. Seriously.
Back on America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2, program brought to you by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Back at Canterbury Park, Lord Dragon, the winner of the sloppy going in here. And the question was who got second. It was the 5 over the 1, and it will stay that way after an inquiry.
Yeah, the one horse veers out late stretch under left-handed pressure from Ryan Eckleberry to impede the 5-horse Touch Revenge, but the winner, Lord Dragon, the 4, Ruben Fuentes, worked out a good trip, patient trip, a lot of pace to run at, and got it done.
Amazing that Touch Revenge actually out-dueled Hieronymus to the finish, because you saw Romas Chirinos between horses just kind of take up there and stop riding just for a moment, but then able to kick back into gear to get second.
Yeah, I also think Hieronymus hurt his own chances as well, because he had to be grabbed and corrected. You know, if he had gone straight, it would have been interesting to see who would have gotten it on their own merits.
Back at Churchill, Turnstone, Gabriel Saez, John Ortiz had only been on the turf a couple of times, including the debut, running second against the next out winner In Good Spirits on this turf course. Well done by Connections to recognize that and try the lawn again.
Yeah, with this Arkansas bred from John Ed Anthony's Shortleaf Stable, and Turnstone was always in position to win the race under Gabriel Saez and outgames Camellia Gal, who throws in another game effort.
Taking home the winner's share of a close to $51,000 purse for the win. It was coming in off back-to-back wins on dirt, but shifting to the lawn and keeping the win streak going now 3 in a row. We're going to take a break in the action. Our feature race from Churchill Downs is up next. 8-5 favorite in the early wagering. Banks Island for Brendan Walsh, trying to win for the 3rd time in 4 starts.
Taprit, sold for $1.2 million as a yearling at Saratoga. Taprit's victories include the Grade 1 Belmont Stakes.
Belmont Stakes!
In his first 2 years at stud, he bred over 240 mares. Now his first wheelings have arrived.
And Showbarn, 100,000.
One of the best bred sons of Sire of Sires Tapit to ever enter stud. Classic winner and stakes record setter Taprit, standing at Gainesway.
My dad loves the lottery. Growing up, he was always playing, so I had the idea to create an app that lets you play the lottery on your phone. I think that was my idea. It's called Jackpocket. It's like having a jackpot in your pocket. I came up with that too. Jackpocket allows you to play official lottery games on your phone. Just choose your game and pick your numbers.
I wasn't sold until I saw the actual ticket on my phone.
Was that your idea too, Dad?
Don't be a wise guy.
Go to jackpocket.com to get your first ticket free.
The ultimate accolade for a racehorse is to be named Horse of the Year. To be enshrined to the Hall of Fame is to achieve immortality. As a stallion, genetic immortality is defined in 2 words: breed shaper, plain and simple. 2-time Horse of the Year and Hall of Fame inductee, Curlin, is just that. Breed shaper, Curlin, the classic sire.
Wagering on the Twin Spires app is fast and easy, and new players can take advantage of our $200 sign-up offer right now. Simply use code GET200 to start earning your $200 new player bonus when you join Twin Spires today, where you can bet on Churchill Downs, as well as the best racing from around the globe. Plus, if you're looking for help to find a winner, check out our expert picks available in the app for every race. Twin Spires. Download the app and bet today.
Back on America's Day at the Races, it's brought to you in part where you can play all the action with Now Bets. Get signed up, started. Go to NowRaybets.com, download the app, and bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Belmont 25, code to use at sign up. Greg Wolf, Richard Migliori, Frank Lyons with you out at Churchill Downs. We have more coming up from Churchill in just a moment, continuing from Canterbury Park as well. Tomorrow at Belmont, we're going to see a horse who ended his 3-year-old campaign on the highest of high notes. Happy Saver completing a perfect 3-year-old campaign, winning the Grade 1 Jockey Club Gold Cup, beating Mystic Guide, who would flatter his form even more, coming back to win the Dubai World Cup and might be the best, considered anyway, the best handicap horse in the country right now.
Yeah, and what Happy Saver did here in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, you could see he was uncomfortable inside horses. He's looking at the outside horses, not quite sure of himself. He's got Tacitus on his outside, Mystic Guide outside of him. But once he gets his head in front here, he kind of drops his head and runs on. He just was a little bit insecure inside. I think this race was tremendous. He's been off, but what a quality horse. Undefeated, has done everything asked of him.
So that was back on October 10th, Grade 1 win. Again, Mystic Guide would come out of there to win the Dubai World Cup. Now we're going to see him back for the first time since early October. 1 turn mile in this return race with obviously extremely high expectations for him.
Yes, and listen, this isn't a layup. This is a nice field of horses. I mean, this is a place to get him started. He looks like he's best. Looks like he's been working well. He was at Todd Pletcher's main base in the winter, Palm Beach Downs, shipped right to Saratoga. He's been training very forwardly up there. So I'm looking forward to see him get started. I think he's going to be a major player in the handicap division this year.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see him come back. We've had to wait a little while for the return. But I would think he's 3 to 5 morning line, his B race. Even though there's some nice runners in here. 3 Technique coming off a big effort, 96 Beyer win.
3
for Jeremiah Englehart.
He's a nice horse, locally owned, improved vastly after the Tom Worley claim for flying P Stable, Jay Provenzano. But Happy Saver's supposed to beat this group.
Yeah, it'd be surprising to see if he did not. But again, starting point for him, probably is not fully cranked. We'll have that early on the card tomorrow in the program. That's race 3. Goes off at 2:02 Eastern time. Meanwhile, another stakes race coming up. Another one that was scheduled for the grass. Unfortunately, it's off the turf. The Minnesota HBPA Distaff. Purse of $50,000 coming up. A lot of scratches with the surface switch and Best Kept Secret. The one to beat right now, 7-time winner for Robert Klein. Coming off a 3rd place finish in the mud at Oaklawn in a $100,000 optional claiming race. Here's the 3. Apple Dapple, winner on the turf at Fairgrounds last start.
Pretty gray mare here by Munnings. Last time she was seen in off the turf where she got it done. But she's a closer opposite of Lester in a race that doesn't seem to have much speed.
Beach Flower, 6-time winner on the dirt, including a couple wins on an off track.
Yeah, 2 wins in the off track. Again, gets Dean Butler, Saratoga native.
Best Kept Secret, 4-5 with Kelsey Haar.
It looks like she should be controlling speed in here and going to be tough to beat. A complete opposite of the last race. I think this race is devoid of speed.
And Baroness Von Trapp, 9-2 outside.
Yeah, 9-2. Has 1 start on a fast dirt track. Was her worst race of her life. Never started on wet. She'd be a surprise. Maybe she can show some speed. Maybe she has the key to how this race is going to be run. But it sure does look like Best Kept Secret is the lone speed.
Yeah, holds all the aces. It's just incredibly sharp form on dirt as well coming in, even though defeated on a muddy track last time out, ran very good over it. Doesn't seem to be an issue, even though yet to win on an off track. We'll see. You never know until they actually do it. But, I mean, this horse was in stakes races on multiple. Wow, the Edgeway, Frank's Rocket, casual race, few starts back.
Even her last race, when she was 3rd in the mud, she set very fast fractions. It's a 2-turn mile at Oaklawn, just like it is here. She's not going to have to go nearly that fast to establish a comfortable lead, is she? It doesn't appear that way on paper.
You would think, well, you go look at the rest of this group. Apple Dapple. We're not thinking to be anywhere near the front, even though it has a bullet full 4 furlong drill coming in. Not one that shows any kind of speed typically.
Wow, they really.
Beach Flower, no chance to be in front.
No.
And Baroness Von Trapp never has been her running style.
No, I mean, she has laid within calling distance at times. She's just not that fast. I mean, again, looking at how races develop, you see a big favorite like Best Kept Secret. What's going to make her vulnerable? Is there other speed? That's the first thing I just don't see anybody that can entertain her on the front end, and I think she should get very comfortable. The key to riding a speed horse, too, is not going so slow when you make the lead, allowing your horse to use their natural gait and make other horses work to stay within proximity of you. You don't have to send them, but don't take a big hold of them either.
Meanwhile, I know we're looking at the 7 right now, but you have Beach Flower, the 5, who on occasion has been in some big races. Was in a $100,000 optional claimer at Oaklawn. It was last year. Ran 3rd in a pretty good field against Emma. Motion to Motion was in that race. So it has ability. It's just the fact that tactically, and the recent form for Best Kept Secret makes her look awfully tough.
Yeah, and she, Best Kept Secret beat her the last time they met on dirt at Oaklawn. They met once before on turf. Best Kept Secret beat her that day. I think Best Kept Secret is the best horse in the race, and she just looks like she has a big tactical advantage from a pace standpoint.
Yeah, now she clicks down another notch here to 3-5, which is not a surprise. Seeing all the aces that she kind of holds, race absolutely goes through her. And it just doesn't look like anyone can try and soften her up on the front end in here. Who, if anyone, you think could make a run at her late? Is it Beach Flower?
Yeah, if anybody's going to make a run early, it's Beach Flower. And she hasn't been able to, close the deficit on her. And I think we're talking about races with faster paces. She went, when she defeated Beach Flower, Best Kept Secret defeated Beach Flower the last time they met, they went a half 23, 46, and 4. There's nobody in this race that can go quick enough to keep any kind of pressure on Best Kept Secret if she even has to go that fast, which she probably doesn't.
3 to 5 here. We have the Honor of the Hero coming up next at Canterbury. Another race that was taken off the turf. That's a 5 furlong sprint. That's where we're going to see Drina Star back in action for Robertina Diodoro. He has the rail. That is a race that looks like almost everybody wants to go to the front.
Yeah, and now, again, when we look at race, how's the race going to develop? And then I start, speed. Is there a closer? Is there anybody that can actually close? That's how I handicap. That's how I look at for it. We talk about, Canterbury. Now, Canterbury's been running since, even though they had a few years off here and there, 1985. Some pretty big-name horses have run at Canterbury over the years, and one that was a star in New York, actually a star in Saratoga, the Sultan of Saratoga. 4-Star Dave won the St. Paul Derby at Canterbury.
And that's your boy who you rode into
Ciro's
to get the key to the city.
Yeah, you got a big oatmeal cookie key to the city. Darryl Montoya, very good rider. A lot of people maybe hadn't heard of, but a very good rider. Rode him up in Canterbury that day in the St. Paul Derby, and he won. Leo O'Brien, his trainer, so 4-Star Dave. Not only good in Saratoga, bit of a world traveler.
Yeah, how about that? Winning in Shakopee as well. 5th at Canterbury coming up. Minnesota HBPA Distaff and Best Kept Secret, the 6. The one to catch and the one to beat. Here's Paul Allen.
Baroness Von Trapp, last in line. Stand by for the 21st Minnesota HBPA Distaff. And they're racing. Apple Dapple's that gray that immediately went to last, and Kelsey Haar is asking Best Kept Secret for speed, and Best Kept Secret responds beautifully. Best Kept Secret on a lonely lead. Right behind her is Baroness Von Trapp. The Trap Shot filly's on the move. That mare is now second to the outside of Beach Flower, who's won this race twice, and Best Kept Secret settles into stride, leading it by 1.5. Apple Dapple is last, but only about 6-7 lengths from the lead. Very moderate early pace being established by Best Kept Secret and Kelsey Haar. And as they head up the Canterbury Park backstretch with 4.5 to travel, Best Kept Secret still spotless, cap to boot. Baroness Von Trapp to the outside of Beach Flower. Apple Dapple trying to provide the rider and the trainer with back-to-back stakes wins, 6 lengths from the lead, and off the far turn they go in the $50,000 HBPA Distaff. Kelsey has not asked Best Kept Secret to run, and Best Kept Secret leads it by 2.5. Beach Flower keeping Best Kept Secret in her sights the best she can. Apple Dapple shaken up, used to be gray. Then we come to Baroness Von Trapp, and they head for home in the HBPA Distaff. Best Kept Secret continues to cruise along. Beach Flower giving her a run on the outside. Kelsey Haar gets down to business on Best Kept Secret. Beach Flower trying to stab her at the wire. Best Kept Secret wins. Congratulations, Kelsey. That's your first stakes win.
First stakes win for Kelsey Haar that, wow, was a nail-biter at 1-5. Desperate looking for that wire.
Yeah, and she was loose on the lead. She was going easily enough. I will say this, Kelsey Haar was pretty cool until just about the 16th post. She was just kind of holding together, hands and heels. I think she got to looking at the tire tracks where the starting gate was a little bit. Her ears came up. She started getting after her late and just was able to preserve the victory over very game Beach Flower and the Dean Butler. Well, congratulations, Kelsey Haar's first stakes win.
Congratulations indeed. 8th career win for Best Kept Secret. That is not the way you're supposed to win at 1-5. Beach Flower made it interesting. We're going to get to our feature at Churchill Downs coming up next. That is Answer In, who just beat Aloha West. That looked just sensational under the lights last weekend. Our feature race from Louisville coming up next. Stay with us.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com.
What constitutes a great sire? Results.
Never Surprised, looking to go wire to wire here, and Never Surprised has got it won.
Versatility.
Tis the law, he's left the others behind. Tis the law.
A foundation for the future.
Olympic runner for the lead. Venezuelan hug. Wait! Venezuelan hug! Venezuelan hug shook free.
Constitution has it all.
Back on America's Day of the Races on the home of racing from Churchill Downs on Fox Sports. Greg Wolf, Richard Migliori, Frank Lyons with you. Feature race under the Twin Spires is coming up. It is a good group assembled. That's the favorite. Just came out onto the track. You saw just left your screen, Banks Island. We start with Answer In. Again, beat Aloha West, who came back to win last time out last Saturday.
Yeah, it came with a big, wide, sweeping run and looked good doing it.
Whiskey Double was just third to Jackie's Warrior in the Pat Day Mile.
Yeah, ran extremely well in the Bayshore, too. Gets back to that 7 furlong distance.
Tom Amoss with a Grade 3 Ohio Derby winner from last year, Dean Martini.
Yeah, Dean Martini just lacks a little bit of speed, and I think we want to be fairly close at Churchill.
Banks Island getting a lot of money right now. He's won 2 of his last 3.
Yeah, and definitely a player here.
I thought one of the horses to beat, Coltonator, double-digit odds at 10 to 1.
Do you think Coltonator could wind up being the speed of the speed here? He's coming out of 6 furlong races, and he's laid up very close.
Digital, we'll talk more about it in a minute, faced Shasha Shake Me Up, who in his past been second to CZ Rocket.
And he did finish ahead of Coltonator 2 starts back.
Interesting to see Bourbon War back. He was second to Code of Honor in the Fountain of Youth back in 2019.
Kind of a deep closer, though.
Home base for Cipriano Contreras. Stakes placed.
And a hard knocker. Shows up and runs hard every time.
He had a chance at 11 to 1. Baracho, big price, comes off a gate to wire 5 1/4 length score.
Yeah, going a mile at times has been more of a kind of one-run sprinter.
And full authority to the outside. He was behind home base last time out at Oaklawn in a tough race that won for Richie. He was on a roll at that meet one.
And a tough post for him, too. He's going to have to overcome that.
Feature race coming up on this Thursday evening card at Churchill. Let's go to Frank Lyons.
So what a great race this is. I mean, when I looked at this race and I seen Banks Island, I thought that horse would be kind of a good thing. But then when the form came out, I looked at through the form, and boy, is this a tough race. The 7, Bourbon War, that's an interesting horse to me. Bourbon War, as Greg said, was second in the Fountain of Youth to Code of Honor. And the 3rd place finisher there was the Grade 1 stakes winner, Vekoma, who won the Met Mile last year. And then the 5th place finisher was Global Campaign, who won the Woodward. So I think Bourbon War, he won first time out, so he runs very well fresh. So I think that Bourbon War has got a big chance in here, but he does come from a long way off the pace, and he may just need a race. Other than that, the 2, Whiskey Double, finished third to Jackie's Warrior, finished second behind Drain the Clock from Safi Joseph's barn, a very, very good sprinter, as is Jackie's Warrior, also trained by Steve Asmussen. Whiskey Double cost $875,000 at the Keeneland September sale. He's a son of Into Mischief. Then the 1-horse Answer In. He is such a consistent horse, but he has been favourite in 8 of his last 9 starts, winning 2 of those, including last time out under Javier Castellano. He won an allowance race at Keeneland. Then we should mention Banks Island. Banks Island is your current 8-5 favourite, and I honestly think that Banks Island, while he may very well win, he is totally up against it here tonight. This is a major, although it's just a 2 other than, he moves up a bit in the class of the race that he is coming out of, because he was just beaten by Get the Prize from Al Stall's barn last time out, but I'm going to go out on a limb here, boys, and I'm going to say the 7, Bourbon Island.
Frank, thank you. We're set for the feature. Let's go to Travis Stone for the call.
Waiting for Barancho and Full Authority. They're in the gate. And they're off. Home base hustled hard for that outside with Barancho there as well. Digital's not far behind. Coltonator tugging at the bit, comes up 2. As the field crosses onto the main track. And it is Barancho's short lead. Home base right there running in second. Now it's 3 lengths back to Coltonator, who's waiting back in third. Banks Island comes on to grab 4th. Digital is 5th. Whiskey Double 6th. Dean Martini mid-pack while 7th. Full Authority comes away in 8th. Bourbon War over to the inside 9th. Answer In is the trailer with 4 furlongs to go. And Home Base comes on through to take the lead. It's Home Base in front. The opening quarter in 22 and 4. Barancho keeping pace with that one. They round the far turn together with Coltonator not far behind in third. Bourbon War sneaking through underneath, passing several horses on the far turn and is right there in contention. Banks Island is not far behind either. Whiskey Double's in behind them. They're off the turn. They're into the stretch. Bourbon War has slipped through down inside. Fighting on is Barancho. So too is Home Base. Coltonator's there. Whiskey Double in behind. Answer In Banks Island. There's 1 furlong to go. It is wide open. Home Base in between. Barancho fights on. So too Coltonator. Answer In. Bourbon War down inside. Here's the wire. Home Base might have got it. Home Base got a good bob. Bourbon War was right there. Barancho and Answer In.
Home Base crosses the wire. First 7th win of this 6-year-old's career, son of Street Sense.
Shows up, fights, wants it every time. Was passed here in the stretch and just kept battling. And again, that speed is good. You want to be up close. You want to be involved, it feels like. And Home Base, Francisco Arrieta gets it done. Basically, he fought off all comers. I mean, and even on the inside, I mean, it was a big run from the 7 Bourbon War. We just couldn't get by.
Yeah, he's going to be fun to watch next time out. Frank mentioned Bourbon War. This is first off a long time away for a horse who was a major player in the Triple Crown Trail, ran in the Preakness as well, was a non-impact in the Belmont back in 2019. Home Base, though, coming out of that One for Richie race. One for Richie had that phenomenal meet at Oaklawn. Just missed against him. He was part of a really hot pace up front that day. Able to last this time around.
Yeah, just kept fighting, was involved the entire way. Barancho from the outside, then he had to face the Bourbon War from the inside. It looked like at one point Coltonator had dead aim, but he refused to lose.
Good group of sprinters in this spot. We might hear some more noise from a few of these runners here, especially Bourbon War. If that's what he produced first off the bench, over a year off. Home Base, though. 7th win of his career, his 3rd win here at Churchill. Cipriano Contreras. Contreras Stable owned this 6-year-old as well, and Francisco Arrieta aboard for the winning ride.
Very game effort. Really like when horses fight for it like this. Very game 6-year-old horse in Home Base.
Wins at 7-1 from a 15-1 morning line. Prices from this one when we come back. We have a good nightcap ahead as well. 5.5 furlong sprint on the turf. Stay with us. More coming up on America's Day at the Races right after this.
Eclipse champion Blame. Among sires with less than 10 crops, he has more Grade 1 winners than any stallion standing under $100,000, including Grade 1 winners Nadal, Marley's Freedom, Fault, Abscond, and French Classic winner Singa, plus these recent standout performers. With success on the track and with yearlings bringing up to $400,000, this proven son of Arch is truly a gold value stallion. Blame, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Hello, you've reached the offices of West Point Thoroughbreds. Please leave your name and your number, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Okay, starting to move now. He's fourth. He's on the outside now. He's pressing him now. There's the 1, the 7, and the 6. He's on the lead. There's another horse on the inside of him. He's pulling away. He's going to win this race.
The Run Happies are running. The Run Happies are selling. The Run Happies are winning. Following C romped by nearly 6 lengths, earning a 97 buyer. Happy Mac crushed the field by over 10 lengths. Mississippi by Run Happy won by 5.5 on the Kentucky Derby undercard. And Happy American by Run Happy stretched out to 1.25 miles in his victory at Churchill. At OBS, Run Happy Juvenile sold for nearly 50 times this year's stud fee. The chance of a lifetime at just $10,000. Book your mirror today to Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Red. Ready to go for a ride, buddy? I'm gonna miss you, Red.
Grayson Jockey Club Research Foundation provides the best equine research to treat the horses we love.
I missed you, old boy.
Back on America's Day at the Races, and a nice look there at historic Churchill Downs. Have the nightcap still to come. That was a good feature. Home Base, picture time. 6-year-old son of Street Sense for Cipriano Contreras. 3rd career win at this racetrack.
And just as game as could be, he was in the battle from the start. Look, he's surrounded by horses now. Looks like he's going to be swamped. And he just dug down deep and kept finding to hold off a very game Bourbon War, who was coming off that extended layoff for Ian Wilkes. Got a terrific trip coming up the rail, but take nothing. The winner just refused to lose. This was a case where a horse wanted it more than anybody else, it felt like.
Baracho to the 11 running a big race. Horse, it was 20-1 in the morning line, but Bourbon War, one to keep your eyes on next time out. Home Base, it was his day today. 7th win of his career, $16 for the win. We're going to see some massive pick 5s. We'll tell you some of the numbers the Will pays when we come back as we get set for their finale on the card coming up. Still have the 6th at Canterbury on the way as well. It's the Honor the Hero 5 furlong sprint, moved from turf to dirt. As you get a look at Ray's Angel, one of the many speeds in a race filled with pace coming up. We'll be back right after this.
Come and get Army Mule, who's pulling away by 5 and finishing fast. Army Mule, ultra impressive in the artery, flew home, won it by 6.
A 10 top 20 here. We can hold on to 221, 210,000.
For 3 generations, the Bond Racing Stable has held to a simple philosophy. If you take care of the horses, they will take care of you. That guiding principle drives every aspect of operations at the family's Songhill Farm and Racing Stables. From breeding to breaking, racing and retiring, our commitment to our horses is reflected in everything we do. Now you can join our Grade 1 winning team with racing partnerships starting as low as $3,000. Bond Racing Stables, 3 generations of thoroughbred excellence.
You're watching America's Day of the Races on Fox Sports 2. We have the nightcap still to come from Churchill Downs and another stakes race out at Canterbury Park, the Honor the Hero, race 6. 5-furlong sprint, move to the main track now. Adrena Star, not a surprise, the 6-5 favorite in here. 8-time winner for Robertino Diodoro. Claimed this one back in late January, and 2 starts back, got this one in the winner's circle in a really tough allowance optional claiming race at Oaklawn Park.
Yeah, he's very fast. He's got the inside. He's got, to me, the best dirt form. He's won on off tracks, but he's going to face plenty of heat.
Yep. He, too, has plenty of speed, though, from the inside. Here's Tin Badge. Clinton Stewart trains 15-1.
I think this horse will get out-footed early, and I think this horse can come with a run. I actually think this horse has got to look at a price.
Ray's Angel, he's 8-1 in here, another speedster.
Well, I think he's got a lot to say about how this race is going to be run. The Minnesota-bred son of Kayla should be part of the pace.
Yeah, his last start, he made the lead in the slop at Canterbury in a stake. Minister of Soul, he's 7-2. He stakes placed in his career at Turf Paradise.
He's got the best wet track figure, and he can come from just off the pace. He doesn't need the lead.
He's got some big numbers he's run, too. By B, 5-1. Sophie Doyle rides.
Another one that could be closing, coming from off the pace, turning back to this distance.
19-1 on Shannon C. More speed, no horses won on an off track.
This horse is fast. This could be faster than anybody early. Certainly he's going to have a part in how this race is run.
And Jazzy Times outside post here for David Van Winkle, coming off a second on the turf at Tampa.
Yeah, some good turf races. The wet track races have been, I think this horse is another one that can come from just off the pace, though.
5-time winner, 3 of those wins on dirt, but as Mig mentioned, best was a third-place effort on and off track. Adrena Star certainly the one to beat, and you know we talked about the pace in this race. The fact that you're inside, you think helps Adrena Star?
Well, and I always felt like it kind of simplified things. I'm fast. I have the rail. I'm going 5 furlongs. I'm going to try to control or maintain my inside position. You know, if you're on the rail, when I say it simplifies things, I've got to go forward. I can't be waiting for someone to drop over in front of me, get my horse kicked back or get me shuffled back. I'm going to come out running, and if you're going to outrun me, you're going to go fast enough. At least you're going to give me some options.
Yeah, well, this horse in the past has been able to kind of sit and win. But from that post, that's not going to be what is a winning formula here.
From the rail in the mud, I don't know. To me, I've got to go. I've got to come out running. If someone's fast enough to outrun me, then at least maybe it creates some separation.
And you thought maybe the one who's the biggest potential to cause problems on the front end for Drina Star, the 9 here?
I think Shannon Sieg. Shannon Sieg has one way to go, and I think he's fast enough to put the kind of heat on that could set it up if there's going to be an upset for someone to close.
This one here, this one's quick as well. Minister of Soul, who is stakes placed, second and the third in the Phoenix Gold Cup out at Turf Paradise. 2 back. In fact, the last time he was on dirt, he was a winner going away at Turf Paradise, running a 90 Beyer speed figure.
Yeah, and this horse is going to be involved too, although this horse might have the option of just kind of following from the outside.
But it seems like everyone is going to have to probably run one of the best races, certainly recently, but maybe their careers, to beat Drina Star, if Drina Star shows up and run how he's been running lately.
No doubt. And understandably, this horse is 6-5. I'm just trying, I'm looking at a favorite thinking maybe there's some vulnerability here because of the way the race is going to run. And so who would be the most likely upsetter coming from just off the pace or even further off the pace? Believe it or not, I don't know if this horse could win, but I think the 3 Tin Badge is going to get outfooted and is going to come with a run. And then it just depends on how fast they went early.
And, look, going 5 furlongs too, Drina Star, we saw Drina Star compete at 5.5 last time out. But at 5, is the pace going to be that much hotter?
Well, I just think with the competition in here, you've got 3 confirmed front runners in here, 3 horses that want the lead. And we've seen some hot pace races here at Canterbury because guys aren't, deferring to somebody else. They're allowing their horses to bounce along.
6-5, Drina Star. Not far behind. I mean, obviously a heavy favorite in here. But Minister of Soul, the Turf Paradise shipper, getting plenty of attention too. And By B is actually at 9-2, coming off that win at Indiana last time out. That's a horse who looks like certainly could sit and stalk if the 6 or the 9 battle the 1 up front.
The more I keep looking at this, the deeper I dig. I'm thinking By B might be the best option as far as closers go.
I agree with you. Sophie Doyle.
Good rider. Has really been impressive. I like what I see from her. If there's going to be an upset from off the pace, I think that's your most likely upsetter.
Owns a win on an off track as well. 3rd off a short layoff and seems to be rounding into top form. Looked like at least matching a career best or close to it, just a point off the best Beyer speed figure this horse has ever run last time out. This could set up nicely. We'll need an assist certainly for it to shape up the way that By B would like it, but doesn't have to be that far off the pace. And look, Drina Star bobbled a bit out of the gate last time.
Yeah, well, and again, things can change. The complexion of a race can change in an instant. We saw earlier in Release the Beast, or what was his name in the first race, the favorite at Canterbury. He didn't break well. Unleash the Beast, excuse me. And it probably cost him the win. So, getting away cleanly, particularly, any race is important. You don't want to be out of position right off the break, but going 5 furlongs especially, you need to get away clean.
That will be key. Had no shot for Drina Star, you would think, without a clean break, and that was not a clean break. Little bobble last time out, and that likely cost him the win in that 5.5 furlong sprint at Oaklawn, coming off a career best performance the race prior.
Yeah, and if he gets away cleanly, I got to think he's going to be committed. Lindy Wade's got to say, I got to hold my position. I can't let these guys drop over and kick mud in my face. Kind of interesting looking at this race too. Like you see, you got Drina Star, Kentucky bred. Tin Badge is an Iowa bred. Ray's Angels, a Minnesota bred. Minister of Soul's a Cal bred, a California bred. By B, Kentucky. Shannon C, Oklahoma. And Jazzy Times, Kentucky. So A lot of horses converging.
Yeah.
On Shakopee, Minnesota.
And that 4-horse stepping in, that's the Minnesota bred. Ray's Angel, you would have to think he's probably going to at least try and be part of this pace early. He's coming in fresh, and he has shown blazingly fast fractions at this racetrack and ability on an off track as well. It's the Honor the Hero. Paul Allen with the call from Canterbury Park.
About set for the Honor the Hero Stakes. And they're racing. And from the outside, Shannon C came out very fast. Shannon C along with Jazzy Time showing speed. And Jazzy Times makes sweet music on a solo-alone lead. After that is Drina Star, now the favorite, revs up to the inside. And it is Jazzy Times to the outside of Drina Star. Right behind them is Tin Badge. Then we come back to Ray's Angel. The Minnesotan off the layoff has been overtaken by Minister of Soul. The gray is Bybee, second last, and the one at the rear, about 9-10 lengths out of it, Minister of Soul. Actually moving up on the outside is Shannon C, and they head for home in the Honor the Hero. Drina Star moves on Jazzy Times, and Drina Star, Red Silks, closest to the rail, takes the lead. It may be an ever-widening lead, and Jazzy Times is fighting back. Bybee is running on very fast late, but it'll be too late, and number one is number one in the Honor the Hero. It's Drina Star.
Drina's Star actually out-quicked. It was Jazzy Times, a little surprisingly, getting to the front in here. And Drina Star found himself in kind of a tough position in the end. Too good.
Too good, and also the fact that the 10-horse rider never dropped all the way over, kind of left him a clean face, left him enough path in there. If you're going to outrun somebody, take it away from him and make sure you throw some kickback in their face. Try to discourage him. Don't give him easy pass.
Bybee getting up for third, 1:10.7. Drina Star, though, 9th win of his career. We have the nightcap from Churchill Downs when we come back, and Wesley Ward with the favorite, but some intriguing pedigrees in this finale. Stay tuned.
Caraconte, a leading sire amongst his crop by percentage of stakes horses. Caraconte is off to a strong start at stud. Top runners include graded stakes winners Kenzai Warrior and Sol Volante, plus 2-year-old stakes winner Spanish Love Affair and dual surface dynamo Princess Grace.
To Princess Grace.
A rising star with graded stakes winners on both dirt and turf. Caraconte, standing at Gainesway.
Be a part of the Racing Action Saturdays at Belmont Park with live money contests available online through Naira Bets. A $300 buy-in adds $200 to your contest account, while the other $100 funds the cash prize pool paid through 10th place. Follow along with the races on America's Day at the Races while keeping track of your leaderboard standings on Naira Bets. After the contest, your bankroll and prize winnings are shifted back into your Naira Bets account to start betting or withdraw. Register to play today at nairabets.com/contests.
DeMarchelier offers breeders a rare opportunity as the only son of emerging sire of sires, Dubawi, standing in Kentucky. His picture-perfect pedigree includes 9 Grade 1 winners under the first 3 dams. Dubawi and his sons and grandsons at stud have established stars on both turf and dirt. Now his first foals have arrived. DeMarchelier, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
Back on America's Day of the Races. Good to have you with us here on Fox Sports 2, and a nice crowd on hand out at Churchill Downs for this Thursday evening card. We mentioned earlier in the show, full attendance at Saratoga. Just given the green light by Governor Andrew Cuomo. Here's our post parade. Here's lead. The dam produced Indian Pride, produced Biofuel, was a multiple group winner in Canada. A lot to like with that first-time starter. Here's Unembellished.
Unembellished from a family on the female side, that's all turf.
Stribling, Mark Cassidy trains Florent Giroux.
Comes from Europe, First time gelding, first time Lasix, making a nice impression there.
Turf debut for Grendel. The dam produced Grade 1 winner Volatile.
Yeah, a lot of dirt pedigree there, but the horse didn't show too much on debut. Shows up here on the grass.
Ocelot, the 5, Norm McKnight trains.
Speedy. Had speed on turf as well as on synthetic.
DeWicked, the 6 at 19-1. The dam was a 3-time winner sprinting on the dirt.
Yeah, and the horse not taking a lot of money. We kind of looked to the board to be a little bit of our guide with these first-time starters.
9 Reaper, Darren Miller, debuted on synthetic.
And ran well on synthetic. Comes back here as a first-time gelding.
And produced stakes winner Past the Plate, who was great at stakes place as well. River Tiber, Wesley Ward was 3rd against Outador, who was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf.
Yeah, comes back with blinkers off and gets Martin Pedroza, who's been riding some horses for Wesley with a lot of success.
King's Mischief, Ian Wilkes trains.
Yeah, had a good run first time out on turf at Ellis Park. Ian Wilkes with his son-in-law Chris Landeros aboard.
And Brew Crew, a little sneaky here. Interesting horse for Greg Foley with Mitch Murrell.
Yeah, a horse that has run well, has been consistent, has run fast enough to win here.
2 minutes to post here in this finale at Churchill Downs. Market mover. It is Wesley Ward. He is just having an incredible year. 33% on the year across all of the racetracks he's been having his runners at. And River Tiber, 4th in the debut, beat less than 2 lengths against Wink, who's a stablemate, who's a multiple stakes winner. Then 3rd against another stablemate, who was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf and a multiple stakes winner as well. He's faced some really good runners from the same barn who've just kind of outdone him to this point. We'll see his 3-year-old debut coming up. Let's go to Frank Lyons for more.
What a nice race to finish off the card at Churchill Downs. The 2 unembellished. This horse, I talked to Jack Sisterton, and Jack is completely confident that this horse is going to run a totally different race to his maiden race, where he said he wasn't ready. He was slow out of the gate, and just nothing went right. He said a bit of a character. Adam Bashiska rides him back, so he knows him, and he's on the board right now at 10-1. He was 20-1 in the morning line. I'm not saying he's a certainty, but I think that this horse will run a very big race here today. Then the 1-horse lead is a beautiful son of Run Happy. Cost $700,000, as you heard Greg say. He's a half to Biofuel. The horse won the race in Canada, and he's out of an Indian Charlie mare. Indian Charlie mares, they always show good speed. They're both at 10-1 on the board right now. Then the 4 Grendel from Steve Asmussen's barn. He's a son of Bairn out of the Unbridled Song Melody Lady, bred by Hillendale. He's a half-brother to the Alfred G. Vanderbilt Grade 1 stakes-winning Volatile. And then there's also a good mare in there called Buy, Sell, Hold. So she's a very productive brood mare. And then the 8 River Tiber. This one is 8-5 right now. This is the full brother to Hit It A Bomb Breeders' Cup winner. Hit It A Bomb is the sire of the 7, 9 Reaper, who also looks very well here. But I just see that River Tiber, I don't know, 6-5 right now. I don't think I'd take this horse River Tiber, but he absolutely has the form to win, and trained by Wesley Ward, one of the best trainers in America, and he is currently your 6-5 favorite, but I'll go against River Tiber with the 2 unembellished.
All right, Frank, thank you. It's this horse right here, though, for Wesley Ward, and pretty famous silks that win races all over the world at the highest level with the 9-5 favorite.
Yeah, internationally renowned silks of John Magner, Michael Tabor. And it's not Martin Pedroza aboard there. He's listed in my form, but that is actually Tyler Gaffleone aboard number 8, River Tiber. The 1-horse is interesting, isn't he? Lead.
Yeah, I mean, you heard Frank talk about it, too. Just the pedigree here. It's a run-happy horse, but on the dam side, the dam was unraced, produced Indian Pride, who looked just like she was going to be a superstar for Chad Brown. Ran 2nd in the Raven Run, or 3rd in the 2nd start of her career, won the Shine Again, and then produced Biofuel as well. Multiple Group winner in Canada, won $780,000 in her career. Also Group 3 winner 2 Ende Way. There's big pedigree with Led. I'm surprised, 10-1 on the board right now.
And the fact that, you know, I'm not a time guy when it comes to works. Except for when a trainer like Danny Pites, who's an old school horseman, terrific horseman, he doesn't tend to work his horses fast. So if this horse is working fast, he's throwing, 59 and change, a minute and change out of the gate. If he's doing that, it's because he's doing it the right way. He's not being asked to do it, because Danny is a guy that instructs his riders, hey, just let the horse run up in your hands, go easy. He doesn't want to see all that in the morning. So this horse is showing that, but it's been on the dirt. Is that going to translate to the turf? That's the question, but he is working very well.
We shall see. Drayden Van Dyke will be aboard. Frank, meanwhile, going with a second-time starter, first time on grass. That's the 2 unembellished. Jack Sisterson, Calumet. Dam was unraced, did produce a 4-time winner on the grass, though. Was 36-1 first time out at Keeneland on the dirt.
Yeah, but there is a lot of turf on the female side of the family, so you can see why they're switching surfaces. And Frank's been pretty good with some long shots.
Meanwhile, 9-5 favorite. Wesley Ward, when in doubt in races like this, it's where the public tends to lean. 3-year-old debut coming up. It's the nightcap from Churchill. Here's Travis Stone.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Ocelot mid-pack, Brew Crew outside. Grendel sent on for speed toward the rail. Ocelot short lead. Here comes Grendel on through to the front. So now Grendel's in front. Ocelot is second. Brew Crew is third. Stribling comes away fourth. River Tiber fifth by 2. King's Mischief is racing in 6th. Unembellished is down inside 7th. 9 Reaper is 8th by 4. DeWicked about 9 lengths off the lead, racing in 9th. And 6 or 7 back to lead. Who is not? Round the far turn 23 for the opening quarter mile. It's Grendel in front. Half-length advantage. Ocelot is right there, racing second and now cranking up the pressure. Stribling switches outside from third. River Tiber's getting into the race, cutting the corner down inside 4th. Brew Crew 5th. King's Mischief 6th. Racing for the 8th pole. Ocelot in front by 2. River Tiber emerges from the pack, setting sights on Ocelot. Ocelot still there. River Tiber bearing down. Ocelot half-length lead. River Tiber surges to the front. And River Tiber under the wire, the winner. Ocelot was second. King's Mischief was third. Stribling was 4th, and Brew Crew finished 5th.
River Tiber wearing down Ocelot, getting the win here in the 3-year-old debut for Wesley Ward.
What an absolute dream trip under Tyler Gaffleone. When he needed room, it was like the Red Seas parted, and he had all the room he needed. He came out from behind the 5 Ocelot and wore him down. Well-judged ride. Wesley Ward with another turf sprinter breaking their maiden.
8-5-9. Ocelot running a good race, getting second though under David Cohen, and King's Mischief at 9-1, completing the trifecta. 2-1 over 7-1 over 9-1 in the nightcap, and this tremendous year. I mean, Wesley Ward's been a great trainer for a long time, especially with so known for his 2-year-olds. But this is a year for him that just seems like a breakout year.
He's like kind of taking it up to another level, and he's winning from coast to coast, basically. He's not bashful about shipping horses, too. He'll find a spot for him and send him in.
Oh, he's got, once again, he's made so much success of putting the top hat on and going to Royal Ascot. He has another contingent of runners that are hoping to make some noise at Royal Ascot this summer.
And he's got David Flores here in New York, former rider, assisting with his horses here in New York. And actually, talking with David the other day, he's going to head to Royal Ascot with a bunch and hinted at that there's a chance he may actually throw a leg over and start riding a couple again. I'd like to see David ride. He was a terrific rider.
Yeah, that was fun to watch. Over 3,000 wins in his career. We mentioned this big news near the top of the show. Saratoga are going to be able to allow fans at near full capacity for the summer meet coming up on July 15th, opening day. Tickets go on sale for the 2021 season on June the 9th. In order to reopen Saratoga Racecourse to fans at near full capacity, NYRA's going to designate most sections for vaccinated fans only, including the popular Saratoga Backyard. That's in line with current New York State guidance for large outdoor sports and entertainment venues. Allows for fully vaccinated sections to operate at full capacity without social distancing measures in place. And if you are vaccinated and show proof of that, free admission on opening day.
Like you need more incentive to come out to the track and or get vaccinated. And you just love to see the people that, file into Saratoga, the anticipation, the excitement level. It's a wonderful time. And I'm really happy for the people, the Saratogians, the people of the town. This pandemic's been tough on everybody, but it affected their economy so much because they depend so much on the racetrack and the people that the track brings for the summer, the restaurants and the shops. And so it's going to be fun to see everybody gathering again up at the spa.
Yeah, it's everything for that town. I was on the freeway coming out here. This was the big travel day sort of for this big Memorial Day weekend. It was packed with people. Everyone seems like first real opportunity in a lot of places to go out there, travel, make a trip, and get out of town, take an advantage. And you saw it today on the freeways. But I think we're going to see a lot of people long overdue, maybe making that first trip that they've taken a long time, make that trek to Saratoga this summer.
I hope that all these people come and stop by our set. We'll be traveling between sets. Come say hi because we've certainly missed you, and it's going to be fun that we'll all get to see the best racing in the world at Saratoga.
Going to be a lot of fun. July 15th, opening day at that Saratoga meet. We got a lot to decide here at Belmont before we get upstate, including a tremendous week of racing at Belmont. And, of course, tomorrow, going to see Happy Saver back in action, putting that undefeated record on the line. You don't want to miss it. We're back tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern Time on Fox Sports 2 until 5:30. It was best kept secret. Kelsey Hart, first career stakes win, had to work to get it at 1-5, just able to hang on. Meanwhile, home base getting the money in the feature from Churchill Downs. And that perfect record on the line for Happy Saver tomorrow, early on in the third at Belmont. You don't want to miss it. Again, we'll see you tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern Time on Fox Sports 2 on our Friday coverage.